Well, hey there, folks. It's me, Brett DeMott, your fearless leader here on the Brett DeMott Show with Buddy. And thank you so much for tuning in to this very special Best of Year 2 rundown episode. Buddy, unfortunately, can't be here today because I gave him a couple days off, as I try to do every year, and he decided to go hitchhiking. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he's going to end up, and I'm just hoping he's back for our recording next week. If not, I'll say he's probably dead. But anyway, folks, if this is your first time tuning into the Brett DeMott Show with Buddy, what is this show? This show is a show I co-host with my friend Buddy, where we run down the news of the day and essentially interview guests, rip straight from headlines that you, our audience, our trusty reporters out there in the field, submit to us every week over social media and over on our Discord on Patreon. Every year, we like to do a rundown of our audience's favorite guest segments as a sort of recap and a sort of celebration of the previous year. We just hit 100 fucking episodes last week, which is absolutely incredible. We appreciate all your support. And a lot of you folks out there, you listen to the show, you maybe haven't checked out the Patreon yet. You absolutely should. You should go over to patreon.com/Brett DeMott Show. And you can get access to the full back catalog of this show, all videos of the recordings of this show. You get a bonus headline every Friday, which is an extra piece that Buddy and I do together. And then you also get access to my old Twitch talk show, How You Been, which features a bunch of guests who look and sound a lot like your favorite comedians, folks. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today because after 2 years of the show, we got to celebrate our second year. And to do that, what we're going to do is the same thing we did around this time last year, and we are going to run down today and tomorrow in 2 very long episodes, the top 10 guests from year 2. We're going to go from 10 to 6 today, and then tomorrow you're going to get 5 to 1, folks. And let me tell you, we put this out to a vote to all the people over on Patreon. We posted on Instagram. And I was shocked, folks. I was shocked by how many people participated in this vote, how many people put their 2 cents forward. And when we finally compiled this list, folks, I got to say this is what I would call an impeccable list. Our audience picked what I would call some of the best guest segments that we've ever had on the show, not just in year 2, but of all time. And I'm so excited for us to get into it. So I think without any further ado, I think we got to just get into it, folks. Because this first one at number 10 comes in from a very special episode that we did back, let's see, what was the date? October 23rd, 2024, where Buddy and I were sent an article about an incredible scientific discovery. And so for our 81st episode of the show, again on October 23rd, 24th, we brought a scientist on to discuss that discovery. And you know what? I don't want to spoil it here, so we'll just cut straight to it. And here is guest number 10 on our top 10 list, Dr. Grant Allen, who happens to look and sound a hell of a lot like this comedian that I've seen online named Matt Apodaca. So check it out. First preserved dinosaur butthole is perfect and unique, paleontologist says. That's right, folks.
Perfect. It's perfect.
It's perfect. The first dinosaur butthole ever discovered is shedding light where the sun don't shine. The discovery reveals how dinosaurs use this multi-purpose opening, scientifically known as a cloacal vent, for pooping, peeing, breeding, and egg laying.
It does it all.
It does it all, folks. This well-preserved butthole belongs to the dinosaur Psittacosaur, a.k.a. Buddy added this, the Buttholosaurus, a bristly-tailed, Labrador-sized, horn-faced dinosaur that was a relative of the Triceratops.
Oh, fascinating.
This Buttholosaurus, you could say, lived during the Cretaceous period, which lasted from about 145 million to 65 million years ago.
When the asteroid hit.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Yes, the Buttholosaurus's butt is so well preserved. Researchers could see the remnants of 2 small bulges, but it's a butthole which
By its butthole.
What?
By its
butthole, which might have housed musky scent glands that the reptile possibly used during courtship. An anatomical quirk also seen in living crocodilians.
Wow.
That's right. It's, any sort of crocodile-like species.
Ins.
Yes, crocodilians. Although the Buttholosaurus's butthole shares some characteristics with the buttholes of some living creatures, it's also a one-of-a-kind opening, the article says. This anatomy is unique, a quote from the study's lead researcher, somewhere in between a bird's butthole and a crocodile's butthole.
Wow, fascinating.
It's its own cloaca, shaped in its perfect, unique way, they say. And just like in most land vertebrates except mammals, this Buttholosaurus used its hole for everything. Which explains why researchers found a fossilized poop in its butt. It's like a Swiss Army knife of excretory openings, they said. It does everything.
Wow.
The bad news.
And this is bad, but
this is editorialized. This is editorialized from Buddy and I's perspective. This is not part of the article. We do need to say the bad news is none of the reproductive soft tissue, like a dick, was preserved.
No dicks. No dicks. We got a butthole, but no dicks yet, y'all.
But even so, this dinosaur likely had copulatory sex, unlike some birds that bump butts when they do a cloacal kiss during reproduction.
Wow.
The scientist says.
How about that?
Folks, this is a huge story. A perfect, unique butthole discovered for the first time in a dinosaur by paleontologists, stunning the science world. And I couldn't be more excited, folks, because
my God.
This is a huge story, obviously. Thank you again to Steve Awaycamp for sending it in to us. And we are so incredibly lucky because we reached out to the scientists responsible for this discovery, not expecting a personal sort of response.
Expecting a full schedule.
Yeah, remember, maybe we get a press release of some sort that we can read on the show, but no. This paleontologist immediately responded saying, "I'd love to come on to the show and talk about my discovery." So, folks, please welcome to the show the paleontologist that discovered the first perfectly preserved dinosaur butthole, Dr. Grant Allen. Dr. Allen, welcome to the show.
It's an honor, sir.
Thanks for having me, boys. This is, as you know, a very serious finding, and honestly, it's an honor to be presenting such a historic finding here today on the show.
Wow.
Thank you. It is an honor for us to have you. I understand that we're one of your first sort of live appearances after this discovery. The first time,
first and only so far. Yeah, nobody's really banging on my door to talk about this.
This is an exclusive, and isn't that interesting that other news outlets aren't interested in ripping this story apart?
Yeah, a lot of my work has been suppressed by the traditional media, and it's I'm just trying to get the word out there. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. And I've
heard the backlash online. People are like, "Why is this scientist looking specifically for buttholes?
What makes it so perfect?"
Right. They're like, it's weird the way this scientist is talking about this dinosaur's butthole. It kind of feels like maybe he has some kind of like weird fascination with dinosaur buttholes.
Unbelievable smear campaign.
It's just
to put it lightly.
completely negating the gravity of this discovery for some sort of editorialized bullshit take.
And you see this all the time with, with human existence and new things that come out, like, paleontologists and historians get so, that, no, this is what happened, and the new evidence comes, and they're like, it messes with, what their story is. And I think that you find in this butthole is one of those things, because regular media has just said for decades that dinosaurs just had regular buttholes like human beings did.
Yeah, and I think that's obviously that's misinformation. That's dangerous. That's in the community, in the scientific community. Misinformation is enemy number one. It's on site with misinformation.
Wow. It's on site for people who do spread misinformation in the science community.
It's on site because you have to. By that I mean we hear something that's incorrect and we correct it.
Right.
We say,
it's an on-site correction.
That's incorrect. Yes.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're not killing people for saying
no
misinformation.
No. We don't have ops.
Yeah. Well, look, Dr. Allen. Again, thank you so much for being on the show, and I want to sort of get into the process of this discovery, because I know we have this idea of what paleontologists' jobs are. We from Jurassic Park, movies like that, where we've seen them. They go out, they dust off bones until the bones are enough out of the dirt enough buttholes that they can pick them up. But you are going specifically after. You have such a delighted smile on your face. I know you're excited to talk about the process. I just don't
get the opportunity to share my passion, as it were, with the world. So I am just excited. But yeah, just to finish what you were saying there, it is like a lot of people think it's just getting your little brush, getting in the dirt, brushing, hoping. First of all, you're hoping.
Yes. You're hoping that you find anything, because most people don't know this, but a paleontologist starts with just dirt, and they brush dirt in a plot, and they hope that they find something. It's not.
This is why it's such a specialized craft, because obviously you can't tell if there's bones in the dirt just by looking at it.
Right.
You have to dig.
Yeah.
Right? You have to get digging, and so we have our little shovel, our little trowel. And
they're all very little.
It's like is little.
For those at home listening, Dr. Grant's holding up his two fingers, almost like he's holding like a sewing needle or a toothpick.
Yeah, it's a tiny little thing. It takes a long time.
It's delicate work. Yeah. Yes, of course.
Because you can't, because they're brittle. You don't want to brush away the first butthole.
No, do you know how many buttholes have been lost to time because
they're not bones? They're not bones.
It's like soft tissue.
And you're kind of brushing through the dirt, and you kind of think, oh, well, this is just like old leaves or fucking bullshit, and then you brush away the butthole,
buried or something. Yeah,
right. Which I do want to say, people out there who are listening, you may remember that Dr. Grant did make a discovery a few years ago, went before a panel of scientists to sort of present his findings, and his work was debunked because what he had discovered was the wheel of a radio flyer wagon, and he said that it was a dinosaur butthole, but it was actually a radio flyer wagon wheel from 1957, which he has owned up to that mistake.
Yeah, that mistake. That was a huge mistake. I've done a lot of growth and healing since then, and I've looked inward, and I can now honestly say, while it did look strikingly similar to a dinosaur butthole, we can all agree that it in fact was not. Yeah. It just was not. Right. And did I want it to be? Absolutely, I did.
Of course you did. Well, you fought those men in the lecture hall when they
tried time. It was on site with hands. Right. It was. Yeah. I was like, "Don't say I didn't find it."
Yes. Yeah. The video went viral. Everybody out there probably saw it. But we can forget about that.
We can forget about it.
We can forget about that. Absolutely. And I'll say the big question I think a lot of people have.
One time I found a dinosaur. I just want to say two.
Okay.
It's happened to me multiple times.
Yeah.
One time I thought I found a dinosaur's foreskin, but it was just a tin can from a lake. I was fishing, and I was like, I got something big here.
Yeah.
It was a dinosaur's foreskin. And I was like, Eureka, I found it. I said Eureka.
Yeah.
Once you can't take it back.
Yeah. You'll admit you said Eureka.
You have to say
it's
it.
fine, and it's fine
That's
to say Eureka when you make a discovery.
It's how paleontologists basically publish. It's like scientists publish. If a paleontologist says Eureka, it is
the
a
first
finding.
question in peer review.
Yes. Did you say Eureka?
Did you say Eureka when you found it? And if the answer is no, then they throw your paper into the garbage can. So
exactly. Start again, they say.
They start again. You have to find
Keep
another
digging.
one. Yeah. Well, and so I guess this is a great segue into the next question I had for you, Dr. Allen. A lot of people throw criticism at you that your sort of focus for the last couple decades of your career has been way too focused on buttholes, foreskins, penis material, that kind of thing. They say the big criticism is you seem obsessed with this stuff. The way you talk about it is a little bit weird. You seem like really excited to talk about what dinosaurs' wieners might look like.
Penis material.
What their penis material might look like or feel like. You're very...
Yeah.
You seem to be excited by this stuff, and people are immediately kind of off foot by this energy when a scientist comes in with like, ooh, dinosaur foreskin. I found a dinosaur foreskin. It's a little bit of an off-putting energy.
Well, and I understand that, and I it's not like... it's not that I have a, it's not like some kind of kink or something. All right. This is not my job. This is my field. This is, I'm a scientist. I have a degree. I have multiple degrees in paleontology.
They don't teach kinks in college.
No, they don't teach
I'll say
that.
this.
You can learn them.
Yeah,
but you can't be taught.
Yeah. And I'll say this to respond to you denying that it is a kink. I thought that was proven when last time you went up for peer review. They brought forward your when you responded to them bringing forward your Google search results, and you said this is research. The things that I've Googled are all research. This isn't like kink stuff on the internet. No. I'm not looking up like CGI images of dinosaurs in sexy poses.
Well, and the most humiliating part of that was that they made me prove I was soft.
It's so humiliating when somebody is trying to make
they stripped you down in the front of the whole auditorium before you gave your presentation. They stripped you down,
and they didn't want me to be. It's the thing they wanted it.
Yes, they show and I'll say
tons
this,
of images.
And I'll say this as a person who's not even into like dinosaur sort of CGI stuff. Those images were sexy.
They were. Good job doctoring them up.
They did because look,
which kind of explains a little bit of in this article. We haven't even looked at the finding yet, but from your finding, a drawing was made and added to the article. That's right. And this was in the article here.
Which you're credited as the illustrator for this image, right?
And as you can see in this image, it is one dinosaur facing away, the multi-purpose, perfect, unique cloaca sticking out backwards, and then one other dinosaur peeking around and looking at it like, nom nom.
Just kind of examining it. It's kind of...
I'll tell you my interpretation of the drawing, because I did draw this. I drew this on my iPad with my Apple Pencil and the app Procreate, and which is a drawing app.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. It is not a sex thing at all.
Yeah. It's sort of like Procreate.
Yes. It's not Procreate. It's procreation,
mm-hmm. which is difficult as somebody who studies dinosaurs.
Right. Yes.
But I got in there. I was like, you know what? It's not just enough to have found this. Mm-hmm. I need to sort of illustrate the curiosity, just so it's like, it's just kind of, I drew one, a dinosaur facing away first. I drew that one first.
Right.
So you could see the butthole. And I thought, but so there's nobody inspecting it.
There's no context. We don't know that this is interesting and unique.
Mm-hmm. I drew this other dinosaur with this sort of attitude of, will you look at that? We do have them.
And it comes across. It really does come across in its eyes, and it feels like it's, it could be doing anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
It looks like this dinosaur is looking at this butthole and being like, huh, so that's what it looks like.
I've never seen mine.
Yeah. Well, I guess now I've seen it. It's a moment. This is a moment of discovery, much like you digging up this dinosaur, the remains of this dinosaur, and having this exact experience.
Which is this?
Yes. Which, of course, here's an image of the actual findings. This is a fossilized.
Yeah, let me put us over here so we can see that butthole.
Psittacosaurus, which in this image it has a little white outline where this sort of cloacal butthole opening is.
Beautifully preserved, to be honest.
Yeah,
gorgeous,
I will say.
isn't it?
Yeah, I'll say this: this image doesn't make me want to puke. It's not so gross that I kind of feel like I need to puke right now.
It's not so gross that you want to throw up, but it's also not so sexy that you want to jack off. It's like it's somewhere in between. It's sort of in that medium place, that liminal space.
Yes.
Therein, it's this sort of.
I'm intrigued, but I'm not sort of aroused or ready to bust.
Yeah, it's sort of like probably when you eat like one. When you eat when you're eating ravioli and like one is like better somehow than the rest of them, you're like, well, wait a minute, what the hell?
And you get a boner because you like that ravioli so much.
It's like, I wish I had more of these.
Yeah. Oh, I've been there. I've been there.
It's just like that.
It's just like that.
It's
it really
like
is.
Sometimes when you're just like eating food, I feel like this is like, hold on, let me just figure this out. Like sometimes you're eating and you'll be like, this is good food. This is like delicious food.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But then you'll take like a bite and you're like, well, wait a minute. This bite was better than all the other bites for some reason.
Yes.
What's going on? I can't explain that.
It's that magical sort of moment where the salt ratio in this bite is perfect. And then, or the seasoning didn't get into one of the raviolis as much, but now it's into this ravioli, and you're just fucking mind is blown open.
Yeah, now we're saying manja, and putting our hands together like that.
Exactly, we're turning into old Italian guys.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great. Yeah, I've been there. Listen, Dr. Allen, I have been there, my man.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, no, these images it's fascinating, because I think Buddy and I both, why we were so blown away by this story in the first place is that buttholes are a thing that we think about specifically, surprisingly often, but not in the context of animals. We don't necessarily think about animal buttholes that frequently. We think about our own. In fact, on this show one time, Buddy went and looked in a mirror to see his butthole for the first time, just to see what it looked like.
I did. Have you seen yours?
I've seen it, and I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I saw it, and now I'm good, but I was surprised. I was happy at how normal it looked.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it didn't look awful.
That's always the flip side. You see it once, you're like, that's good.
That's fine.
Normal. Nothing to report.
I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna keep doing as I've been.
Doing as you were.
Yeah.
That's what I said to it. I looked at it and I go, as you were, and then I pulled my pants back up.
Yeah. But Dr. Allen, I guess my
this
question...
This butthole's crazy. Yeah, it does everything.
And my question for you is what was expectation versus reality? This has been a discovery you've been waiting for a long time. This is a discovery that you've talked about a lot in the past as what you will sort of view as the sort of masterpiece of your career.
That's right.
In terms of the expectations of the of what you expected to find versus what you did find, both practically in terms of what you thought the butthole would look like and what it ended up looking like, but also in terms of how you expected to feel and how you did end up feeling. I'm interested in both sides of that coin.
Yeah, I've set out to make this my number one thing, the thing that, because I wanted to have my name on this, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to be the guy that discovered the most perfect, most beautiful, most, what could you even else? What else? Another word that you could use to describe it?
Multi-purpose,
certainly. But I guess maybe
adorable
is good. Delicious. I've been trying to find the best one because
awe-inspiring.
I've been to. I used to when I was a kid. What first got me interested in paleontology at all. Obviously, going to the museums and seeing the bones and being like, okay, wow, those bones. Yeah, it's interesting.
Right.
I can see how you could assume that that's what dinosaurs look like.
Mm-hmm.
Because
bones, even human bones, if you're like, show me a picture of me and then show my bones, show a picture of y'all, then show your bones. All our bones are basically look the same.
Yeah.
So it's the tissue is what makes us unique.
It's the tissue. And that's what I'm saying. We're all basically exactly the same except for the tissue. I kind of want to put that out there for a second. And, I just know that not to get like...
It's the tissue that makes you who you are.
It's the tissue. That's the issue, isn't it?
The title of your paper.
That's right. Yeah. And big red stamp on it that says denied.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they did not take... They don't
but
take
you
any
put
of my
that
stuff.
on there. You put that on there yourself as part of the title so that if it did get stamped... it could still make it through.
That's true. Yeah, I did put it on there because I was just like, I know they're not going to take this. I know all these scientists are in there, not very accepting of other ways. And then but to my surprise, they were like, let's go with this one. I was like, okay, all right.
So now the paper is published and it says denied, even though it goes through. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
very
tough.
Confusing.
That is tough.
But I saw the bones at the museum, and I saw some scientists, behind a little window, dusting them off and finding some new ones and stuff like that. And I thought, where's the dick skin? Where's the butthole skin? Where's all that stuff?
Right.
You mean to tell me it's just bones are left?
Yeah. Totally. And I think people probably even remember that there was actually a big sort of hoopla at the New York Natural History Museum a few years back, where you actually staged a sort of, how people, when they're protesting climate change, they'll go into like the Louvre and they'll throw paint on the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, they'll throw like a can of soup.
Throw a can of soup on a famous painting. Well, you went into the New York Natural History Museum and you went... And you went and you just threw white paint all over the big Tyrannosaurus skeleton in the museum.
Yeah.
And just took your trench coat off and you had a shirt on that said, "Where's the dick skin?"
Yeah. And it was, I'll say now in hindsight, a sort of flawed execution because the white paint was exactly the color white of the bones.
Right.
So like it didn't really change what it looked like. I thought it was like a different color paint inside. I grabbed the wrong paint can. I was painting my house outside like before.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I got my paint can. I wrote on my shirt and on my body, on my bare body.
Right.
But I grabbed the wrong can of paint.
Now, you were painting your house blood red. You were painting it outside of your house.
I did. Well,
red.
Since I only had the wrong paint can left at home, I used all my white paint. I was going to paint just like a gorgeous.
Yeah, I was going to say it felt like I've
white.
seen a picture of your house, and your house does sort of seem like it was you used the paint you intended to throw on the Tyrannosaurus.
Well, and it's also I wasn't like I knew the spots that needed paint were in a sort of like splatter effect. So I was going to throw the white paint at the house in the spots that needed it.
Right.
But since I didn't have that, I still did that with the red house. So now my house looks like a freaking crime scene.
Yeah, I was going to say the pictures of your house, I thought I was looking at like 10 best, it was a list, and I thought I was looking at 10 best decorated Halloween houses, but turns out it was actually just an article that was like 10 houses of scientists.
No, I know. And so I have to, every year for trick-or-treating, I go outside my house because I can't paint it again. I just can't go through this again. I go outside and I paint on my body. This is not for Halloween.
Oh, on Halloween,
on your body,
yeah,
on and around it, like sort of like maybe starting around like the 15th.
Yeah, you'll sit in your front yard with a message painted so that people know.
Yeah, big sign with a that's like just like an arrow pointing at me, and that says, "I'm a scientist."
This has been covered in multiple local newspapers around your house. I've seen stories about this.
The Wile E. Coyote of my neighborhood.
Right. That's. I didn't want to get into that because I wasn't sure if that was something that you were proud of or not. Because I also know that there have been other incidences that would paint you as a sort of the Wile E. Coyote of your neighborhood.
Yeah,
as well.
I usually don't speak to anybody in the neighborhood. I kind of walk around with a bunch of signs with phrases and stuff.
Right.
And
I
ride
know.
around with a big rocket on my back.
I was gonna say, you also ran into your neighbor. You ran into your neighbor's garage because you thought it was the opening to a big tunnel.
Yeah, that was a huge mistake.
It flattened your whole head for a while, and then you had to stick your thumb in your mouth and then blow and stretch your head back out.
And that takes so much longer than you think.
Oh no, it's like an air mattress. If you do it with your mouth, you're fucked.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm sleeping on the ground.
Yeah, you gotta get a foot pump or the electric pumper because if you're blowing up an air mattress with your lips, let me tell you what. If you're going to bed, you're going to bed dead. Is all I'll say.
Electric only, a foot pump. Who I got on that damn thing? Keith Moon. That thing's never gonna get blown up.
Of course, playing the kick drum like Keith Moon, the drummer. Yeah.
Can I ask you just some questions? Because there was like this little picture that kind of pointed out like all the different parts of the dinosaur butthole.
Good. Yeah, this is good.
If you could just kind of go through. So there's kind of like what you saw and then what you could see on the outside and what it looked like. If you could just kind of go through the parts here. And just kind of like let us know what they do, like what their activity would be.
Well, all of this ultimately funnels out piss and shit,
right?
Which starts within the body,
right?
Starts outside of the body first as liquid or food.
Yeah. Do you think they make the pee pee and the poo poo kind of the same way as us? Because we don't have guts and small intestines and stuff too. Do you think it's sort of the same process?
It's probably pretty similar. And the fact that it is one, I would imagine there is another step because we have separate vessels for that, right? And one comes out one way, one comes out another way. But because now there's this one universal whole, I believe that there is a third step in the process that condenses everything to the finest matter possible.
Yeah. So the pee-pee is the poo-poo and the poo-poo is the pee-pee. It's not separated.
The pee-pee is the poo-poo. It's all kind of like, I mean, it's not like diarrhea.
Yeah.
Right. And see this,
but it's similar. I can see how you can get it.
You think it's juicier? You don't think it's more diarrhea than turd? You think
it's? I think it's. Yeah. If I had to diagnose it, I think I would have to say that it's probably more diarrhea than turd. Yuck.
Yep, look, folks, this is why I like you, Dr. Allen. You say it like it is, even if it's disgusting.
Look, I'm a scientist. I get it, but I don't want to use the scientist lingo. I think all that stuff's so snobby and so...
Right. You're talking above people's heads, and
this is why the scientific community is... in many ways, against you. This is why they don't want you to be in the forefront because you speak like a regular person and you make people feel like you're just one of them. So
I'm kind of I don't know, scientific renegade or something. I'm kind of like the bad boy of science.
Exactly.
I'm kind of like Fauci.
Hey, you are kind of like Fauci.
I'm kind of like Fauci.
Yes, you're the dinosaur version of Fauci. That's what I've been saying.
But as somebody myself who I visited Arizona's Pooseum, which is fossilized poo-poo, I do know the word coprolite. That is a poo-poo. That's what that means. So that is on the arrow where it says coprolite. I do know that is where a little doo-doo is.
Yeah, so that's a fossilized.
That was actually, I can give you a science fun fact about that.
Ooh.
It's spelled and pronounced coprolite, but it was supposed to be craprolite, and it was a printing error way back in 1860 when they were
Charles Darwin. Was it a Darwin thing?
This Darwin really just could not spell.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of a secret.
I think on drugs or something.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's supposed to be a crapper. We'll call it was supposed to be the craprolites right there. You can see the little doo-doo, which is great, right above the two lateral lips.
How good is it, by the way, that there is some in there?
I know the odds of it.
Some of the ones that have been found, and I'm not trying to, throw my colleagues under the bus or anything, but this is.
Where there's fire, there's smoke. Where there's buttholes, there should be craprolites.
Right. And some people have tried to turn in their findings and say, "Oh, this one's the most complete," and I'm like, actually, there's not poop sticking out of it.
Right, again, very combative in peer review. Yeah. Whenever you're on the other side, also, which is another reason people don't love to work with you.
They wheel me in Hannibal Lecter style,
right, on
a dolly with a muzzle.
Yeah,
because it looks like you caught this one mid poop, like it was mid dump.
Well, I didn't.
I was gonna say
catch it.
Not you.
Dr. Grant did.
The Big Bang certainly did. Can you imagine? By the way,
wow,
trying to go have yourself a do, and then the meteor hits, and you're like, I'm not done.
You're like, do I run? Do I wipe?
You're in perpetual state of almost finished.
I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. Pretty recently, there was we'll call it a 5 earthquake a couple months ago.
5.0 earthquake,
5.0 earthquake, and yours truly mid-sit, let's say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do I do?
Literally, what do you do?
I stayed there, but I was like, this was not the right idea. I should have gone up.
You stuck it out?
Yeah, because it was, it shook a little too long. And I was nervous, though, I will say.
Oh, I'm sure. It's kind of like if a fire goes off and you're sleeping with your fucking dick out.
Oh, man, that fire's going off again.
Well, we spoke to somebody who was having a vasectomy mid earthquake.
Oh, that's right. That is right. So it's really
and they swapped his wires, and
they made him more powerful.
It made him
in a certain
swap
sense
pee-pees and sperms.
Yeah, so when he pissed, he cummed, and when he cummed, he pissed.
See, even as a scientist, I can still be blown away by science. That's right. Beautiful. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that. Wow, an accidental Frankensteining.
Yes,
exactly.
Pretty bit of a Frankenstein-esque vasectomy. It was indeed. Yeah, go back and listen to that episode, folks. The only way you can find it is go to patreon.com/Brett DeMott Show.
The guy looked like Ronnie Adrian.
Yeah, he looked a hell of a lot like Ronnie Adrian, like Los Angeles comedian Ronnie Adrian.
Yeah. Handsome fellow, then. Sounds like.
Real handsome.
Well, look, Dr. Grant, we can't keep you all day because we know you got a busy schedule. You got a lot going on, probably fielding a lot of requests for comment and stuff like that. So we don't want to keep you very much longer.
Actually, I just received a request for no comment. They don't want me to speak.
A request for no comment?
Yeah, they said, hey, I know this is going to be the type of thing that you're going to want to speak at. But,
can you just send us a no comment?
Yeah.
Who did it come from? It didn't come from news@news.com, did it? Nobody wants to talk to you?
It came from, news@news.org. It goes higher up.
No, it goes higher up.
Yeah.
The org?
News.org wants nothing to do with you. Wow. That's, of course, a big organization of every major news outlet. We're the only news organization that is not in
affiliated.
The news org.
We're outside the org.
More power to you. You're just getting the good information out there.
Unaffiliated. Exactly. We are unbound by the constraints of modern journalism, folks. Truth, fairness, they have no place here. But anyway, Dr. Grant, we're going to let you go. Thank you so much for being on the show. This has been an absolutely fascinating.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Actually, congratulations to us all. Now we live in a world where this is no longer a question. There's an answer to this.
Exactly.
They got one and doneers.
one and done, and then it's one size fits all, sort of liquid,
Yes,
solid. The rest,
one size
gas.
fits all: liquid, solid, and gas, folks.
Wow.
That's it. Well, Dr. Grant Allen, thank you so much for being here on the show.
It's been the best day of my life.
Participating. This has been a huge get for us. Thank you for gracing us with your presence on the first ever Brett DeMott Show special report. We will continue to look out for your discoveries because we know that
there's a dick skin in your future.
We absolutely know it's not going to be tin cans from now on. It is going to be the Dinosaur foreskin is in your future. We know it is.
Super inspiring thing.
Let me just put it this way. If I don't find it, you guys will hear about it.
Awesome.
Well, we can't look forward to that day more, Dr. Allen. And thank you so much for being here on the show. And thank you for everything that you've done for science and for humanity. We will hopefully talk to you again sometime real soon.
Keep digging, brother.
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys.
Well, there you go, folks. Perhaps one of the most serious interviews we've ever done. I mean, an absolute breakthrough of science and technology to find a whole, intact dinosaur butthole to study and to understand. It's a beautiful thing, folks. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. You know, if you're a fan of the show, then you know at one point in history, Buddy discovered his butthole on this show. Yep, in the middle of an episode, he went and looked at his butthole for the first time. I don't remember what episode that is. I'm sure there's some fan out there who could let us know. Let us know on social media what episode it was where Buddy discovered his butthole. But if you want to listen to the rest of that episode, that's episode 81 from October 23rd, 2024. And Buddy and I dove deep into that story for the rest of the episode as well. So you can go check that out. And that was number 10, folks. And we got 9 more. And number 9, folks, this was a hell of a story. I remember when this story popped into the news, I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to get this lady on here. But you might have remembered it. There was this story that popped off, and this was from back in 2024 as well, April 2024, of a woman who walked into a bank to get a dead man, to puppet a dead man, essentially, to sign some papers. And we were lucky enough on this show to get that guest in the hot seat. And the interview, when I tell you it went places we never expected, it absolutely went places we never expected. So at number 9 on our top 10 guests of year 2, we've got Beverly Sinclair, who happens to look and sound a hell of a lot like another comedian I've seen in TV and on podcasts and on stage before, Betsy Sodaro. So check it out. Woman arrested after taking corpse to sign bank loan. She knew he was dead. That's right, folks. Erica D'Souza Vieira wheeled her lethargic-looking uncle into a bank. He didn't look well. In fact, the 68-year-old appeared to have been dead. Vieira allegedly used her dead uncle to sign off on a loan, and Vieira was arrested and charged with violating a corpse.
Okay. Violating a corpse.
Yeah, violating a corpse.
That's
and attempted
harsh. That's
theft
harsh.
Through fraud. Well, I think doing anything to a corpse, I believe, would be a violation.
A corpse is not a violation.
I don't know. An investigative officer said she knew he was dead. He had been dead for at least 2 hours.
Okay. Well, it's still fresh.
Footage of Vieira's surreal and macabre alleged attempt to cash in on her relative's corpse has gone viral on social media, with the police chief saying, anyone who sees that footage can see the person was dead. A lawyer representing Vieira told reporters the facts did not occur as has been narrated. Paolo was alive when he arrived at the bank all of this will be cleared up.
Well, I guess that clears it up.
Well, it implies that she is admitting that he did die at the bank.
I mean, he is dead.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't say the bank.
That's true.
She just did say arrive.
That's true. He died after he said it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's good lawyering.
Yeah. The police chief said he has also investigated if Vieira was in fact the deceased man's niece.
Oh, that's a turn.
So there's already so many layers to this, folks. And the big question to us is, these law enforcement officers really harped on this information, which was that she knew he was dead.
Yeah.
And all of the article is making a very obvious claim that it was obvious at the minute. If you watch the video, by the way, there's very few things that would make a person move the way that this dead man's body was
real
moving.
floppy. He was real floppy.
And we thought the best way for us to get a sort of bird's eye view of the situation and address this question would be to talk to somebody who was there. And we unfortunately we couldn't get
Eyewitness,
the police chief. Yeah, we couldn't get the police chief. Or we couldn't get Erica Vieira herself. But we got an even better source, in fact, a person who saw the whole thing go down, folks. And that is none other than Beverly Sinclair, the bank teller who worked with Erica Souza Vieira on the day in question.
Yeah.
Beverly, thank you so much for being on the show. This is a huge story, and we are lucky to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was one of the craziest days of my entire life.
I won't even question the veracity of that statement, Beverly, because I think there's absolutely no way it could have been anything else. And so I guess the big question on everybody's mind, the police chief makes it very clear. A few people in this article make it very clear that it was obvious that this man was dead. But you were there, and it's not in the article. Was this loan signed? Did you give the loan?
Okay, so I did give the loan. But here's the thing. I swear I knew he was dead the whole time.
Okay.
Okay, I swear I knew he was dead the whole time.
I don't know if that's the
I
take.
swear.
Beverly, I just want you to know that makes it sound like you knew you gave a loan to a dead man. It seems like you're maybe afraid of being like the only person who didn't realize that this guy was dead.
But that's not the case one bit. I knew he was dead the whole time.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I swear, okay?
Okay.
I knew he was, and I knew it was his niece Erica whispering me sweet nothings and forcing his hand onto my leg that I didn't mind.
Okay.
Forcing is not the right word. I liked it.
Beverly.
But I knew he was dead the whole time, and I was like, this is so weird that somebody would do this, and that it's not, he's so dead the whole time. And I knew it the whole time.
Okay. Well, Beverly, why don't you walk us through what happened that day? Because the video kind of shows the moment where Erica de Souza Vieira kind of uses his hand to try to sign, to take an ID out and all that kind of stuff.
Props his head up because it keeps falling down.
Yeah. And so like you as this bank teller, you're going about your day. And what was the first sort of moments of this interaction like for you?
Well, at first I saw the door swing open and I saw this man just stepping on in.
Okay.
He was stepping on in.
He was stepping
just with all the confidence in the world, and having a young lady with him who I could absolutely tell they were family.
Right.
I could absolutely tell they were family. I didn't immediately think that they were together.
Okay.
Right. Uh-huh.
And I saw
this beautiful single man strolling in, sunlight hitting his back as the doors swing open.
Yes. There was a little bell that rang and everything. We don't even have a bell on the door. And I thought, this man.
The vibe of it created the sound of a bell in your head.
The vibe of it created the sound of a little ding ding in my head. And I was like, who is this man? And then my friend, Ted, who I work with, he's like, we got one. And I was like, here we go. This is because I've not been doing well with loans lately. Can I tell you that much?
Oh, wait.
Okay. No, it's hard. It's hard.
Hold on. When this
Money's
bell
tight,
went off,
yeah.
I see. When the bell goes off in the light, this that you were attracted to him, or that you knew that he was a sucker for a loan, like you could get a loan out of this guy?
Both. That's what happens when you are
It's a
a loan
twofer.
person.
That's a bank. It's a
'Cause
bank twofer.
You are attracted and know you can really
Yeah, it's
mess
kind of
some
like
people up.
for you, like flirting is like giving people bad interest rates and like,
Yeah, they have to keep coming to you and begging you. They have to beg you for help, and only you can help them.
yeah, I get that.
Wow.
And so,
You know?
Lock
so-
him in.
and so you said he walked in the door. Now was Erica holding him up, or did it seem as though he was walking on his own?
Walked in is he more did the Congo.
Oh,
Or the conga line,
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
Congo, not the
Yeah.
movie about the apes.
So he was doing like a conga kind of dance.
He was doing a kind of conga dance, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Was she playing like music out of her phone or anything?
No,
Okay, good.
no. And the bank is silent. We're not allowed
Right.
to have any music
Yeah.
or anything.
And
Gotta
that
go.
would have given it away that he was dead and being controlled by some voodoo
Yeah,
curse, like because
exactly.
that's Weekend at Bernie's too.
Yeah.
If you're playing like calypso music and a guy's like doing conga line, you're like, oh, that's a dead body being controlled by a curse.
Yeah, on his way to his treasure that's hidden in the ocean.
Right,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
would never jump to that. I thought, here comes a nice, strong, very alive man
Mhm.
coming to me. But then I was like, he's dead. I swear. I was like, oh no, he's
See?
dead. I swear
Look,
he's dead.
well,
Beverly, I don't mean to
okay.
jump in, but it feels like you're kind of going between
What?
the truth and then you're the truth, which is that you were completely fooled. That you thought this was a beautiful, virile young man coming
Lone
in
hungry man.
to get a loan. And then you're kind of just like saying that you knew he was dead, but it sounds like all the details point to you being 100% fooled.
Because you just
by
said
this.
that you thought you knew he was dead as he was walking in, but you said earlier that later on his hand was rubbing your leg.
Yeah.
So did you know he was dead then when he was hitting on you? Or
Well, yeah, of course, duh, I did. But I knew, I was like, if anything, I have to like buy time in order to catch this person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was
So
doing.
you were like, right, you were playing along to give someone time to call police or like someone to come and like take care of the situation. So
There you
Yeah.
Yes,
You were-
yes,
yeah, okay.
yes, 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 yes.
he's like, you're just realizing it.
no, that's exactly what I was doing.
Got it.
Okay.
I wasn't actually enjoying his company
Right.
because I was like, this is such a dead man. He doesn't really want to take me to Bubba Shrimp Co.
wait, did he offer to take you to Bubba Gump's?
Yes.
What?
And how?
Yeah, did he was
His head fell over. And then it started kind of shaking, and he said, "Here's your Bubba Gumps." And I was like, "I love Bubba Gumps. I think Forrest Gump is the greatest movie ever made, and I think that restaurant is the greatest restaurant in the world."
yeah.
But
so
I
he-
knew
so
the
he
whole
did
time.
this.
I knew the
Right.
whole time.
But you
I
were
knew
playing
the whole
again.
time.
Yeah, you were
he
playing
was
along.
Dead.
Yeah, and I'm just picturing that moment. He's there, his head flops forward, and he goes, something like that. It was
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of accurate.
Man.
That was pretty spot on. We just need the sound of his voice to come a little bit more from his left.
Right. From the woman standing over his shoulder.
Just a little bit more.
Right.
But
But-
no, I knew I was
Right,
I knew
right.
the
You know what?
whole time.
Look, yeah, and
Yeah.
you don't have to convince us, Bev. We it doesn't honestly matter. This is such an insane situation that no matter how you reacted, I would 100% believe and support you because you've been put through something now knowing that now you do know that he's dead. It has to be a very shocking like thing to sort of look back at this experience and be like, wow, I'm sitting across from a dead man this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, it's been very shocking. Also, and you don't see this on the video, we smooched.
Whoa!
I had to go make a copy, and he followed me back to the copy room. And I swear, I did not. I was like, this dead man, but I was like, I don't see his niece, and we smooched.
Because it does take a long time to get a bank loan. There were a lot of steps that were not on camera there. We only saw the end where it was they were signing it.
Yeah,
so
it
he was
takes
saying,
a
you went to
while.
another room. He followed you there and kissed.
Look,
How long was the kiss?
It was long. It was long, and like
he probably kind of just fell on your face.
But it felt like. I was like, man, this would be pretty romantic if this man wasn't dead.
Right, okay.
You know?
So, but in the moment where you and I'm gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna accept I'm gonna accept what you're saying, that you did know this man was
the
dead
entire time.
And so, from my perspective, I'll be honest with you. I think that there would be something. This is gonna make me sound like an absolute freak.
Okay.
But there is something mentally interesting about the experience of being that intimately close to a dead body.
Wait, like you're into it?
No, not into it.
Yeah, what?
Curious about it?
like
Wait, what?
It's happening, and in the moment you're like, holy shit, what is that? There's a dead body kissing me.
Oh yeah, I did have that moment. I had that.
Right.
I so had that moment. I so had that moment immediately.
Right. It wasn't like a loving and like passionate. Like on your end, it wasn't a like passionate, like, oh my God, you're into me too.
No, I was like, I can't believe this dead man. This is so weird. This is so messed up. I can't believe a dead man is laying on top of me. And oh my God, my tongue slipped into his mouth. Oh my God. I was like, and like,
this is crazy.
This is the craziest thing. And like, I was honking his butt cheeks because I was like, this is so crazy. This is too crazy.
You were like, what does a dead man's butt cheeks feel like? Because we don't know.
They're hard.
I don't know. I'm interested to know.
They're hard.
Yeah. Everything kind of contracts because I think the fluid kind of like moves weird, and then everything gets a little bit.
And I will say that you said that he was laying on top of you. Do you think it's because she was walking him in and may have dropped him, and then he kind of maybe just could have fallen into you at that moment?
Yeah, that's probably
That's what you think.
exactly.
That is. Yeah.
That's probably exactly
Exactly.
what happened. You know, I didn't think he was like, wow, you're Beverly. I got to follow Beverly into the copier room and then like really make love to her. I didn't.
Hey.
I knew he was dead the whole time.
Yeah, you knew he was dead.
I knew he was dead the whole time.
So you did make love?
This wasn't like a dream come true for me. Thinking an alive man was doing this. I haven't thought about that ever before. Of a hunky man coming in to get a loan and then it was like you were saying, it was so like,
Beverly,
this dead man.
You really can't even say it's crazy enough to actually be even close to really true. Like, it is truly what you are claiming happened.
Was Paula pushing him rhythmically on Was this whole part of her thing was to use him to seduce you?
I think so. I think she had a feeling like, Beverly's the buttoned up mean lady, not going to give us a loan. I better seduce her. I think that's probably what. Because
that's a way better headline.
I have not done this to other people. I swear. I swear I haven't done this to other people getting loans.
We'll say in a weird situation, this is not true. This is not true at all. Anything I'm saying is not true.
Yeah.
She may have been scoping you out, seeing how much you hooked up with people who came in for bank loans. And she used a dead man to then come in, seduce you, and then get said bank loan. And that did not happen. That's not how it happened.
I don't know. I mean, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to say that is what happened.
Okay, yeah. And you knew he was dead, but it still worked.
I knew he was dead the whole time. And the whole time I was like, I have to help out. This is my duty. So I better, order lunch after we did it and catch up and get to know him and he get to know me a little bit more. I had to help the cops and stuff.
How long was he at the bank for? How long is this?
It was like 6 hours of my day. And I work 8 hours a day there. It was over my lunch too. I went out and got us some
6.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
oh my
crap.
God.
But I knew he was dead the whole time. I was just being so helpful.
Yeah.
Right.
You just, biding time for people to call the authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then
I was like, I can't call the authorities because they'll know I'm on to them. So I better, and so I was like, I also better play it up and yell at other people to not call the authorities because this man is okay. But I knew he wasn't the whole time.
You weren't saying things like, do not call the cops.
Yeah,
this man is not dead.
I didn't try to take out the Wi-Fi or the landlines. I didn't snip the landlines.
Right. I was going to say.
There was no footage from inside the bank of this. There's only that cell phone footage that we see that somebody else took. So there is no...
And I've actually heard
there's a lot of video.
Yeah, I've heard that all video, all internet communication, text messages couldn't come in or out. People are saying it seemed like an EMP went off, like an electromagnetic pulse that just killed everything in the whole bank.
Weird.
Big shrug for
weird. I don't know, and I knew he was dead.
Right.
Right. Uh-huh.
And I did have an EMP in my desk. Is that how they work?
Yeah, they can just be anywhere.
You just push a button.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And I was like, because I'm going to really get them. Because I don't want her to just get in trouble for playing with a corpse. I want her to get in trouble for getting a loan with the corpse.
Right.
So I had to make sure
that she got that signature.
She got the loan, so that then the police really have something to get her with.
Because you got pen to paper.
Pen to paper.
And so the loan did go through.
Yeah.
Yes.
How much was it for?
$500,000.
And you gave her like the check, everything. She redeposited it. She has that.
Yes. I said, just do it at this bank. Here's the check. Go put it in now. Open an account for it. Go put it in now. And she was like, are you sure? I was like, yeah.
Wow. Holy
smokes. But I knew the whole time, he was so dead.
Of course. Yeah. You were doing everything you could to keep them there as long as you could.
Yes.
So that you could gather evidence. It's like on like thriller movies when it's like they're like, keep the perp on the phone. So that we can trace the call.
Keep talking. We're tracing the call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
45
I get
seconds.
it.
45
I totally get it. I get it. Yeah, and you don't even know what you like when you're in a high pressure situation like that. Your brain kind of shuts off, and it's just instinct that takes over.
Yeah.
So I can totally understand, like you didn't think this was a you did think this was a dead body,
Yeah, but
you were just
needed to do. It's unbelievable.
you did what you needed to do.
Yeah.
You listing out all the things you did to get them busted is
Right.
honorable. I
And
mean,
the other-
Thank you.
A thing that I don't think they cover on the in the article is that multiple responding police officers were shot and killed.
Well, I had to make sure they knew the severity of the situation.
Right.
Like, I had to make sure, like, you guys, this is so important. A woman is using her dead uncle to get a loan, so I better shoot at some cops.
Right. And a lot of people are saying you were kind of going full Bonnie and Clyde, actually, where they were like,
Yeah.
you were kind of like standing in front of him being like, you can't take my baby.
And they also-
I did try to get him in. I got him into my car,
yeah.
and I did start.
They said they drove you. There was a chase. They didn't mention the chase. There was a states-long chase.
Yeah. Almost made it to the border of Nevada, but didn't get there. They blew out my tires.
Which was good because you that of course then they apprehended you, of course, and
Yes.
and that's when you were able to finally tell them, like, I have this dead body for
Yes.
you guys.
Well, in the police report, they said there was lots of crying before that, and her saying, "Don't take my boyfriend away from me."
Wait, where did you get? You can get the police report anywhere, huh?
Yeah.
It's Freedom of
I-
Information Act.
Oh, yeah.
You just have to ask for it.
I mean,
know,
you're still in character. That deep in is unbelievable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I then said that later. It's probably not on the report, but then they said that to me. They're like, "Wow, you were so in character.
Wow.
Thank you."
Oh wow! And this is honestly things are making sense
Didn't
because
see
we
that.
haven't even mentioned
It's
this.
not on the police report.
They
That
didn't
part
put-
isn't.
Yeah.
No,
I
but it's
promise they
unfortunate.
wouldn't
It's
put that
unfortunate.
there.
It's
Yeah.
interesting because for people who are listening, this detail now makes a lot of sense to me. I'm seeing you're sort of in a box, and I do see behind you it says D Block Correctional Institute.
That's just fun. Yeah, it's fun.
It seems like maybe you got arrested for trying to do all of this, and you're trying to sort of develop a defense here that it was all part of this, that you knew he was dead, but it seems like you're kind of in the middle of a
Well, so that brings up a big point because the lawyer in this article says the facts did not occur as has been narrated. Paulo was alive when he arrived at the bank. Was he alive? And then maybe
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? That when we went into the copy room? What are you trying to say? When we went
Maybe
into the copy room
you
and started
him to death.
smooching? That I did what I didn't.
that you had sex with him and maybe he died in that situation, and then you kept it going, got $500,000, popped in a car and headed for the border.
Yeah, you have such a wonderful imagination.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, I mean, honestly,
Are either of you lawyers?
no, unfortunately, we're
Dang
not.
it.
I have tried to represent myself in the past for a few things, but I promise you don't want me to be your lawyer.
Okay.
And I will say there is a timer on the screen that's counting down saying your one allotted phone call is ending in 1 minute.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
I knew he was dead the whole
Right.
time.
Okay, yeah.
And I was just trying to help.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
He
of
didn't
course.
die while we were doing it in the copy room. Okay, I don't have that reputation
Right?
of just, being such a hardcore lover that I kill my men.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody's saying
I didn't
that.
squeeze him with my big thighs like the lady from GoldenEye. I didn't squeeze him to death like that.
And then keep going.
I didn't do that, okay?
I'm glad.
No,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
we didn't say
glad
it,
that you
yeah.
were able to be here and clear the air, Beverly, because I
Yeah.
think people were probably pretty confused about this story.
I know. I think talking with you all really helped clear everything up and not
did.
make it so confusing and stuff.
Yeah, and honestly,
For sure.
I hope that whoever the defense attorney that you have hired.
I'm looking for one.
Oh,
and
yes.
you two are not one. Okay.
Well, how about this? How about you submit this tape to the judge in your case? And how about this right now? Brett and Buddy will go on the record saying, we believe Beverly Sinclair that she knew the whole time that he was dead.
That he was dead.
Thank you.
We rest our case.
I swear you must be lawyers. You sound like you're lawyers. That was so good.
No, not a day of law school in my life. Just a few days in court. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You watch enough TV, you'll get good at something.
Well, geez, Beverly, this was truly the wildest ride I've ever been on. I mean that with my full heart.
Yeah.
It was a real treat to talk to you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, no, thank you
for
so much.
believing me, too.
Of
It was
course.
Sure.
truly maybe the most traumatic day of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not because your lover died. And
No.
in your attempt to escape with $500,000, you accidentally killed him,
No.
and then
Because a lady brought in a dead man.
Yeah.
yes,
Because of that.
1,000%,
Yeah.
because of that.
Yeah.
Well, geez, Beverly, I think the guards are coming in behind you
God,
and trying to
they're
pull
gonna
you
beat
out
the
of
shit out of me. Okay, I gotta go.
Okay, great, Bev. Thank you. Oh no!
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
Ow. Oh, wait! I have to tell you, boys, something. Ow!
Okay,
Fuck
give her a minute, guys.
Okay, I've been listening to two podcasts. I really love it. I think everybody would love them. One is called A Funny Feeling, and then another is called We Love Trash. You should check them out.
Great.
Okay.
We will.
Oh, God, no! Help me!
Ooh, folks, wow. I mean, come on. Only on a show like this are you going to get coverage like that. Are you going to hear directly from the source's mouth exactly what goes down? And what a hell of a story, am I right? Just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So that was number 9, Beverly Sinclair. And moving on to number 8, I was reluctant to keep this segment in the top 10 because we thought, Buddy and I, we had a guest lined up that was very exciting and relevant to the times. This was back during the World Series, October 30th, 2024. And we got Freddy Freeman on the show. I don't know if you're familiar with Freddy Freeman. He's a baseball player for the LA Dodgers, and he had a hell of a World Series last year, and Buddy and I were thrilled to get him on the show. And folks, I don't know if you remember what happened, and I won't spoil it, quote unquote, and I'll just play it, because at number 8, we have Freddy Freeman from episode 82 back on October 30th, 2024. And Freddy seemed to look a hell of a lot like this other guy that I know, this other comedian named Mark Schroeder. But folks, things took a turn. And if you remember, you remember. But why don't we revisit it right now? Well, folks, we got a guest on the show. A hell of a guest, in fact. A timely guest.
Damn. Yeah.
A superstar of the moment. Because, folks, you may know, you may not be into sports, but if you are, the World Series is clapping along. In fact, Game 4 is about to happen as we record this. When this episode comes out, the game will have happened. We will know who World Series champions are. Is it the Yankees? Is it the Dodgers? Oh, yeah, that's right. If the Dodgers win, we will know that they've won the World Series. If the Dodgers lose, Game 5, I believe, will be on Wednesday. So, folks, we couldn't be more thrilled to have this guy on. He has had, I would say, one of the best offensive performances in baseball history in the World Series this year. Mm-hmm. And he is none other than Los Angeles Dodgers first baseman and 3-time home run hitter this World Series, one in each game, Mr. Freddy Freeman. Freddy, welcome to the show.
Hey. What's up, Dodgers?
Oh,
Freddie, those teeth are looking good, brother.
Hey, this is the salary, baby. Dodgers salary.
You got those veneers. You got those veneers from your Dodger salary, and you intentionally made your teeth that big.
Yeah.
Hold on here. Let me look at those suckers.
Wow. Those are some serious chompers you got, Freddie. And I've always noticed that about you, but I never in this serious of a way.
Well, you got to take a bite out of the title, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a bite out of we won the pennant, didn't we?
Yeah.
No, that's not true. But didn't we? We're here at the World Series. We're ready to take a bite. Just take a big bite out of it.
Well, Freddie, you have actually already taken quite a large bite out of the World Series. You, of course, have hit a home run in all 3 of the games that have completed. You hit a walk-off grand slam in Game 1, which, of course, was an unbelievable hit.
Greatest moment of my career. Honestly, I got to say. That was the greatest moment of my career.
It definitely looked like a hell of a feeling it must have been. But then, not to be outdone, in Game 2, you hit yourself a solo home run. And then in Game 3, just last night, you hit a 2-run home run. So you've almost hit the cycle of home runs. If you hit a 3-run home run in Game 4 tonight, you will have hit each type of home run that is possible.
I mean, when you're hot, you're hot. And that's really all I can say about that is I'm swinging, I'm connecting, I'm really, really seeing it. So,
you really are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you something? Does the lights on the field, you know how sometimes when it's real bright, they'll put like the black under your eyes to keep reflections? Do your teeth ever reflect the lights off, the big lights? Does that ever get in your way? Because even just here, your teeth are just white and shining. Yeah,
well, thank you. First, I'll say thank you. And second, I'll say you're absolutely right. I use these. There's nothing in the rule book. There's no rule that says a dog can't play baseball. There's no rule that says that you can't use your own teeth.
Your teeth are slipping off, actually, Freddie. Yeah, your teeth started sliding off.
As soon as
holy cow. They're so long. They're super long. They go really high up into your gums, too.
Yeah, well, you really played those Dodger dogs, baby.
Yeah, you need those teeth to eat those Dodger dogs. For anybody who is just listening to the show, you really should go watch the video on Patreon to get a full picture of. There is video of this, Freddie.
Thanks, man.
But Freddie, I want to say, you're not somebody who has historically been talked about. Like you're a solid player. You've been a solid player your whole career, but you've never really been this much in the spotlight. And it feels like these first 3 games of the World Series, you've really had an opportunity to show people who you are and how you are. So how has it felt to finally kind of be thrust into the spotlight, to take center stage, as they say?
God, that's a really good set of questions there. It feels darn good, just to cut right to the chase. It feels fantastic. I think it's been coming to this for a long time. No spring chicken. I'm a little long in the tooth, as they say. But it feels good to accomplish something so great at such an age. Really, because a lot of guys, hammies are gone, the knees are gone, and gums are gone, all that. But, for me, it's just, you grin and bear it. That's all. That's what I say.
Boy, are you grinning too?
Yeah,
and that's
kind of constantly grinning. I mean, you have a smile that is just etched with teeth all over your face all the time now.
Yeah, it's actually I can't use a straw. I just can't get enough skin flap around the old teeth to form a sucking hole.
a sucking hole.
What do you call it?
I mean, that's what I call it.
Yeah, I guess I'll start calling it that. But Freddie, you're about to go play Game 4. We record this
minutes
podcast
away.
usually on
I'll
Tuesday
be right
evenings.
there. I told him the one thing I'll do Game 4. One thing I'm doing first is doing a pod with my butts.
Wow.
I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, and it feels like you should maybe you should try to limit the number of P's and B sounds that you do. It feels like you maybe shouldn't say baseball or podcast.
Yeah,
or any
I
of
play first base for the Dodgers. And I think they're pretty safe saying that without hitting any tough letters there.
Yeah. But what are you hoping happens in Game 4? We know we don't have a ton of time with you, so we just want to get your sort of thoughts on the
what's your
upcoming game
prediction,
tonight.
maybe? What's your prediction?
What do I hope happens in Game 4? Well, I hope Dodgers take it all the way and win, baby. I hope I hit another homer, able to contribute to the team for my daddy. He taught me how to play baseball.
Yeah.
They don't let him pass the net, though, if you ever saw us celebrating. They keep him behind the net. He was patient zero for COVID back in 2010.
So they keep him in the crowd?
Well, yeah, it's a weird thing that they do. In New York, am I right?
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we win, and I hope they let my dad out from behind that net.
Which is, of course, a separate net. It's not the net that stops foul balls or anything. It is a separate net
separate net.
They call it Freeman's net. It's just behind the dugout.
It's ironic that you put a Freeman behind a net. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
exactly.
They cut to him during the whole game. He's trying to claw his way out of there. He never really stops trying to escape. He's almost zombie-like.
Well, our Freemans, we're like badgers or beavers. We'll chew out of any container you hear us.
I guess I should have mentioned, for anybody who's listening and not watching, Freddie does have gigantic. Yes.
Way to go, fellas.
Yeah, Freddie does have gigantic front teeth, folks, and that's why it might be difficult for you to understand.
Say something like that to a goddamn guest on your thing right to their face.
I mean, you don't notice?
You got to talk about J-Lo's behind as your next episode, fellas. I'm a little couth.
Look, I'll say
a little couth from my tooth.
If J-Lo happens to ever come on the episode, I will, unfortunately, mention her behind.
Well, if she comes to games, I can put in a word. I think she's coming tonight.
Please let her know. We'd love to have her on the show.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well,
I'll
Freddie,
chew it over and we'll see what happens. What we decide.
You chew it over, Freddie.
Yeah.
That's a saying. That's a common saying for thinking.
Well, look, Freddie, we know you have to get out there. Is there any sort of pregame ritual? It's Otani who's trying to get back.
Yeah.
Well, is there any sort of pregame ritual that you do before each game? Is that we could sort of do along with you before we send you off into the field?
Yeah. I always brush up and I floss. And,
you brush your teeth, you floss your teeth. Yeah.
I mean, do some mouthwash and I brush again.
Well, so, you do have incredible teeth. They really are incredible.
Thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. It's the best I can do with the Dodgers salary. And let's hope we get a win tonight. Guys, I gotta go.
You're right.
Freddie, we appreciate you giving us even just a moment. It really
was an honor, dude. I'm a huge Braves fan. I grew up a Braves fan. I loved it when you won a World Series with the Braves.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I know that about myself because I did that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Freddie, have a great game, man, and we'll see you hopefully as a World Series champion.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. See ya. Yeah. Bye. Holy cow, Freddy Freeman.
Freddie freaking Freeman. That's incredible.
That's crazy. We just saw him. I never thought. Usually we do just like news stories and people from the news.
People goofing around.
Yeah, and now we got real
the
biggest
superstar
on the planet just came in and popped in.
And look, here's the thing. we know this episode's coming out on Wednesday, which is the day after Game 4, and I wish that we could say we know who won. I wish we could say right now we know who won. We have our fingers crossed for the Dodgers, but unfortunately, you can't see the future. And we had this opportunity to interview Freddy, even without having the end of Game 4 in the bag. And it's unfortunate that we couldn't celebrate with him or know exactly what happened. And I'll tell you what, honestly, if you haven't seen the game or haven't looked at the thing, we're not going to spoil it for you, okay? We're not going to spoil who won. Wait, hang on a second. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Did the lights flicker? Did the video cut out for a second?
I didn't, but I think something akin to Beetlejuice just happened.
What do you mean?
You said the word we're not supposed to fucking say on the show.
No. I didn't say it in the context.
You said the word, though,
but I didn't
Brett.
say it in the context of a movie or anything. We're talking about the World Series. You can't. The spoiler doesn't care.
Spoiler.
The spoiler doesn't care
Yeah,
about
that was
the
three.
World. Oh.
Of the brave Rainbow Boys.
Jesus.
Brett, you fucking asshole. You know that when you say spoiler 3 times, he shows up, dude.
It wasn't even. We're not talking about movies.
Didn't matter. It's just a word. Beetlejuice doesn't.
Media falls under an entirely new umbrella.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my
fucking
God.
hell. Welcome to the show, spoiler.
Don't welcome him, dude.
We're not. Look.
Good to be here.
But look, we're not talking about movies. So
We're not going to talk about movies.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about movies. So you have nothing to contribute here.
Oh, aren't we? Because it's coming up, and it's my favorite time of year.
What?
The Oscar race is getting started.
Is it time for that?
It starts early when you call the pumpkins. You also send out the 2 people your considerations.
Is that real? It happens around this time.
Next time you're driving around Los Angeles, look skyward. You'll see the billboards, buddy, you dummy.
Okay.
For your consideration, the big movies are yet to come out this year.
Wow, that's incredible. Wow,
I mean, I don't know which ones he's talking about, but I really want to kind of ask him.
Look, we're not. No, listen. Here, I'm putting my foot down. Spoiler. We are not going to talk about movies. Okay, we are not going to talk about movies. You are not going to spoil movies for us. You're absolutely not. Okay. Like it's not what we're gonna have happen. Okay, we're in the middle of baseball season. Nobody's thinking about movies. We are not.
We have a lot of Halloween content to get to.
Yes. Okay.
Right, because it's Game 4 of the World Series tonight, isn't it?
Well, it was last night, and it when people are listening to this, it will have happened last night, so it will already have happened. So
you can't technically only be spoiling it for us in this moment.
Yes.
So I bet you're wondering how it all turned out.
No, we aren't. We aren't wondering. We're gonna watch the game. We're gonna watch our buddy
we'll
Freddy
just watch
Freeman, who
the
just came
game.
on the show, and he was so cool, and he was so great, and his teeth looked awesome. And we're gonna just watch the game like regular people. We don't
and
need
You
to.
got Freddie Freeman as your guest?
Yes, we did.
Great work, dudes.
Thank you.
Thank
and I'll
you.
tell you this, look, this isn't a situation where you could have seen a pre-screening, okay?
Yeah.
You can't see a
How do
pre-screening
you
of Game
spoil
4 of the
something that
World
doesn't
Series.
exist yet?
So there's no way that you know what happened in Game 4 of the World Series. There's just no way.
Works in and out of time.
Okay.
Not only am I like an almanac into the future as well, I know the outcomes of almost all sports matches well into the 3000s.
Wow. So you're like in Back to the Future. You are
You got to talk to Parlay Pete.
Yeah, you guys should sync up probably.
I bet y'all would be a hell of a team.
Well, don't spoil that episode.
Yeah. Well, look, I don't want to know, okay? I don't want to know.
I'm not going to spoil the outcome of the game, but
Okay, great. Okay, fine.
actually tell you what happens in the first inning, maybe.
I just don't believe you're going to be able to tell us for sure. I don't think whatever you say is going to be true.
Hold on.
So-
Can I ask you a question, though? I can't, once again, click you out of this as a guest. What is it going to take to get you out of here?
What do I want?
Yes.
No one's ever asked me that before. I want to spoil things.
Jesus Christ. Okay, fine.
Okay. Fucking get it over with, dude. Get the fucking shit over with, dude.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
And listen, just to be clear to the audience, the game hasn't happened yet. He's gonna spoil it, quote unquote, but there is no way that he knows who really won.
He's never
so
been right
whatever
about
you
anything.
hear here is not gonna actually be who wins and what the score was. It's not gonna be truth. So just talk.
Let's see. I think at top of the first, the Dodgers are going to be up to bat. Leading off, you're going to have the one and only Shohei Ohtani.
Yep.
walk
Okay.
to the plate.
Of course. Yep.
The stadium.
He's the leadoff hitter.
Yeah. Correct. They're gonna boo him.
The state's gonna boo.
Until the music in the arena blasts on full, and everyone unites as the heroic music of Diddy plays from the entire stadium.
Spoiler, that is not going to happen.
40,000 fans unite and say, we're on his side.
No, there's absolutely no way.
If these people should come, if it really happened.
But
This is what they're saying. While Shohei's batting, they're talking about how they need to look into the Diddy situation.
The game's going to stop. The district attorney is going to walk onto the
Smoke
field.
comes out.
And the district attorney is going to open up a suitcase.
Okay.
Smoke comes out of the suitcase.
Yeah,
okay.
of course.
And the district attorney says, we're throwing this case away. And then
The World Series.
At the world, and we'll throw the suitcase. It's roughly about shortstop
No,
because he's not athletic.
Spoiler, there's no way that that's going to happen.
It's not gonna happen,
One, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence to prove that Diddy has done so many horrible things. There's no way that they're going to play his music over Shohei Ohtani's first at bat in Game 4 of the World Series, and then a district attorney is going to come out, open up a smoking suitcase, and throw the case out. That's just not going to happen.
Not gonna happen. It's gonna be so easy to see. It's not gonna happen in like an hour.
Yeah, so like this is so easily disprovable. Why don't you at this point you would be better off just telling us how many runs each team's going to score and who's going to win, because this stuff is not going to happen.
Can't you just go Yankees 4, Dodgers 3? Wouldn't that be a spoil?
Any old sucker can spoil a score. Oh, look, I found a misprinted newspaper. Or, oh, look, my bathroom smells too much like bleach and I blacked out and went into the future for a second. Anyone can do that. But to actually spoil a real moment, like you're actually there, is I'm taking that experience from you.
Which honestly, I bet you, knowing this information, a lot of people are not going to tune into the World Series now. If they find out that the Major League Baseball is somehow aiding and abetting in the release of a actual serious criminal. And so there's going to be 8 innings of the game that nobody even watches if that happens in the first inning.
Oh, there's going to be more innings than that in the total game because this is going to go into extra innings.
Oh, really?
Oh, is it?
Well, now that is kind of a spoiler. I don't want to know if we're going into OT.
Oh, we're going into OT, my friend, and the way it happens is spectacular because it's the bottom of the ninth, and there's 2 away, and the Yankees are up, and they're down to Mr. Aaron Judge, and he really has to come through because he's not going to connect with the ball during the regular 9 the entire game. And then, finally, the fullest of full counts.
Okay. Which is still, of course, 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Very full. The ball is going to be thrown by the pitcher or pitched. And it's going to travel past, and Aaron Judge is going, but just before he connects, P. Diddy is going to rip off his bat from the umpire, and he's going to say, ball 4, take your base. And then he's going to say,
before he hits it? Before he swings?
Before he even swings. That's why I'm not going to spoil a score for you, because these are the moments that matter. Then a holographic Biggie is going to appear at center stage in center field.
Center stage in center field.
And Sting, Sting will be lowered down.
The wrestler?
No, the tantric sex guy.
Okay, Sting's coming
And they're
down.
going to do Puffy's rendition of "I'll Be Missing You." And the surviving members of Led Zeppelin are going to play as well from Chashman.
Because of the other song that Diddy did with Jimmy Page
live sample
from the Godzilla soundtrack.
And the district attorney is going to say, you want to put this guy in jail?
Okay.
And everyone's going to say no.
Okay, well, this district attorney, if this is all true, and again, I don't think it is, this is the worst district attorney in the history of the law. If they're going at Game 4 of the World Series to make a whole show out of acquitting a known terrible criminal, there's just no way.
And this is the biggest stage.
Changing the outcome of the game,
Yes,
of the World
probably,
Series.
yes. And killing the viewership.
You know, everyone watches.
I mean, if somebody said P. Diddy is umping the World Series, I think a lot of people would.
You're not wrong. Unfortunately, it
would
probably
actually-
it would probably get every Nielsen box in the country would be tuned in.
Catch on fire.
Yeah, it would just light on fire. Probably, you're not wrong.
And
Jeez.
honestly, the more things that you say about sports, you really got to talk to Parlay Peak.
Yes, because it's interesting. Because at this point, it's almost like your guys' two things are the same thing.
Basically the same thing now.
And when yours is sports, yours and
when
his
yours
things
is sports,
is the same thing.
It's basically Parlay Pete. When the spoiler does sports, it's basically Parlay Pete.
My other interests I know significantly less about. But I do
If
have
Parlay
very
Pete did parlays on movies, I'm afraid they might be a lot
Yes.
like the things that the spoiler spoils.
Yeah, so I guess, you know what? At the end of the day,
Yeah, which I know
Why
what that
do-
looks like, by the way.
why do I hate you, spoiler?
Because you think you have a sense of control over when you have experiences, and I say that you don't.
Right. Yeah. It's that I would like to forget about these people and see them sort of slink
That's
off.
also probably why is that
Yeah, and the spoiler just
happened to-
makes me think about them coming back better than ever. I
see.
think that's
I see.
yeah.
Yes, if
You
you
create
had an
these
issue with
horrible
that,
narratives. Yeah.
You might have a problem with things being spoiled for you.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's the end of the game, though. 10th inning, there's no way it goes on that much longer. So I guess that's the end of the
Yeah, that's
spoilers.
it.
You
So that's
spoiled
it.
the game. There's no way that you know what commercial is going to come on after the World Series or whatever, and that's going to be a big spoiler. So I guess you have nothing else to say, and
So
we can
that's
just
it?
we can
That's
just
it? You spoiled your spoils and we can move on?
spoiler. We can get you out of here. You could just disappear or whatever you do. I don't know.
Yeah.
It ends in a tie.
They wouldn't end the game in a tie. It's the World Series. They would never do that. Spoiler. They would not. They would play. They would play until
You're telling
somebody
me-
scored.
Does Diddy as the ump just call the game at a tie? Is that his thing?
Everyone's celebrating.
What are they celebrating?
Really?
Oh, okay.
He's there. He's a free man. He's a free
I forgot. So the whole audience of the game has stopped really caring about the outcome of the World Series.
We call them crowds, Dave.
The crowd is now so happy that Diddy is innocent and that Biggie and Sting and the surviving members of Led Zeppelin are there.
Yes.
That they're just
Big concert. Big concert. And then Diddy walks to the mic and the crowd hushes.
No,
Some mist smoke.
no, he
rises.
doesn't. He doesn't introduce anybody else, does
He
he?
takes the mic under his mouth and he says, I am announcing that I am writing in my candidacy for president.
Okay, good. Okay.
And everyone votes for him. And Diddy becomes president.
There's just no at this stage in the election. There's
it's so
no
hard.
way.
There's already like 40 million votes cast.
His name is on them. It's
Well,
crazy.
I'll be
No,
honest,
it's president- and he's going back to Puffy. It's going to be President Puffy.
Okay. Well, I'll be honest. That announcement is a lot better than what I was expecting. If he's just going to run for office, I don't think everybody will vote for him. I think he would get a few votes, but there's a lot worse things that could have happened with that announcement. So if that's all it's going to be, then I think we're okay and we can get through it.
Wait till you see his first bill.
So now you're going to spoil Diddy's policy.
Yes.
Sorry, Puffy's policy.
You're into politics now.
I varied interest, movies, sports, as we clearly saw, and politics, which I know way more about than the other two combined, really, if we talk actually.
Well, what's his first policy then? Spoiler. You
You're
know,
just sending your kids. You're just sending your preteen kids to him.
no.
Yeah.
You got to get out of here, spoiler.
Yeah, you can't. We're done.
You got to get out. You got to get out of
We're
here,
done.
dude.
You need to
That's-
evaporate or whatever you do to get out of there. Because
That was more than 3.
yes, that was. You've done more than 3. Spoiler,
Yeah.
and that means you've outstayed your welcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
you say your name 3 times, you show up, you say 3 spoils, and then we get to take you off the show.
Yeah.
There you go. You're slinking. Okay,
Yeah,
we called
yeah.
you out on your own rules. Now
Yeah,
you're
now
slinking
you're
away.
slinking into the floor,
Slinking away.
as you're known to do.
Okay, the button is popping up,
You're almost
and
gone.
I can take him. And he's out of frame and gone.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Why did you say his name?
I didn't say his name. I
You
said
did.
no. I
know,
didn't.
don't. You said
I
it.
said the thing.
It's on video.
Spoiler. No, I said the thing. Spoiler.
That's too. Don't.
I didn't say his name. Spoiler. I said. Wait. No. Why is it back? Why?
You said spoiler 3 times.
No. Why? No. Hey. No. Damn it. Go.
Quick, 3 spoil. Just give us 3 very quick spoils so you can leave.
Spoiler. Say
Please.
3 quick spoilers so
3
that we can finally just get you out of here.
President Puffy's presidential cabinet.
Okay, they're
His
great.
vice president is Kevin Spacey.
Of course it is.
Secretary of Transportation is Louis C.K.
Okay.
And the Secretary of Defense is Chris Brown.
All right. See ya, spoiler.
Get out of here. Get out of
Bye.
here. Get out of here.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, there you go, folks. We got fucked by the spoiler yet again. You know, Buddy and I have, for the entire run of this show, since the spoiler showed up, we have tried our best to keep that motherfucker out of the recordings, but somehow, some way, we get duped every single fucking week. Not every week. If we got duped by the spoiler every week, I think you'd have a case for killing us, for murdering us, because we would be the stupidest people alive, and I would believe that the stupidest people alive would deserve that fate. But we get duped every single time someone comes on the show that happens to look a little bit like LA-based comedian Mark Schroeder. Something happens, and we always end up getting wrapped up and looped into having the spoiler on the show, which of course is what some would call a recurring presence on the show, and his bit or his deal is always the same. But you all freaking seem to like it. You got him at number 8. What's wrong with you guys? It's not good. It's bad. You're crazy. But that was number 8, folks. Again, that's from episode 82. Number 7, I'll say this. This was one of the most incredible interviews we ever had. You know, sometimes Buddy and I, we get an article sent over our desk, and we think about who we'd want to bring on to discuss the story. And we really looked out. We didn't know it was possible, but this, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and you can fact check me on this, the guest at number 7, I believe, was the first non-human guest we ever had on the show. I could be wrong. I could be forgetting someone, but this was, in my memory, the first non-human guest we ever had on the show. And it was related to an article about a bear that was breaking into houses, I believe in Lake Tahoe or Arrowhead, one of these lakes, somewhere. Who knows? I don't remember. We'll listen to it together and we'll find out. But we reached out to the animal services in the area, and we got a response that said they'd talk to the bear himself, and he wanted to come on the show. So at number 7 on our countdown of the top 10 guests from year 2, it's none other than the bear himself, Hank the Tank, who weirdly looks and sounds almost identical to incredible, funny comedian Mark Rennie. So let's give it a listen, folks. Hank the Tank, the bear behind 21 home invasions, has been captured near Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
That's right, folks. A large black bear who's believed to be a notorious bandit and a hungry, uninvited house guest was apprehended by wildlife biologists on Friday. Authorities in the town of South Lake Tahoe, California, have been on the lookout for exceptionally large animals since February 2022.
AKA bears?
Yeah, I think, what other kind of large animals might they be talking about? Me, maybe? Are they looking out for... Yeah. But after they reported that one single bear had been the cause of 152 reports of conflict behavior, quote,
Okay.
including 28 home break-ins.
Behavior.
They
The
referred
bear's
to the
therapist
animal...
calls it conflict behavior.
Yeah, let's just... The bear's breaking into places. Come on. They referred to the animal as, quote, Hank the Tank, setting off the internet's affection.
Oh, people love it when you name something.
They do. People love it when you name something,
Once you give it
folks.
a name,
Yeah.
if it was just bear,
Yeah.
it would be weird, but Hank the Tank, now everybody loves it.
Yeah. The more homes that were vandalized in the ritzy waterfront community of Tahoe Keys, about 100 miles east of Sacramento, the more the public came to the defense of Hank the Tank, blaming the bear's behavior on unsecured garbage bags.
Eat the rich bear. Eat the rich bear.
Yes. And also habitat encroachment, of course, which means we're building into their homes.
Bear
folks.
homes.
Bear homes. We're building into bear homes. The CDFW cited widespread interest in Bear 64F, which I believe is the technical name of the tracking.
Hank the Tank, it's way better than 64F.
Yeah. They cited widespread interest as the reason it intends to relocate the bear to a Colorado sanctuary.
Nah, he's not going to kill it.
Yeah, where Colorado Governor Jared Polis welcomed the move in a tweet. The 3 male cubs who tagged along on several break-ins will also be relocated and rehabilitated, and CDFW hopes it can one day be returned to the wild, having regained a fear of humans?
Okay.
Wait, is that what we're trying to do? We're trying to make these bears scared of people? I don't know if that...
It's like a
that's how we control
bear
animals?
conversion therapy.
Yeah, I don't know if I love this. But anyway, folks... This story is wild. You know, Hank the Tank became a bit of a celebrity around Tahoe, and
It's about to get wilder because
It's
you hear that article, you think maybe we're going to talk to like an animal
maybe we'll talk
sanctuary
to-
person.
yeah,
We're going to talk
Governor
to Governor
Polis from
Yeah.
Colorado.
That's what you think.
We put out feelers, and we couldn't be more excited because none other than Hank the Tank himself is here, folks.
Oh,
and
my
welcome to the
God.
show, the Tahoe Bear, Hank the Tank. Hank, welcome to the show.
Hello, they got me. They got me.
They did get you.
They got me.
They got you.
I am
They
so
got
happy
me.
that they are letting you do a little bit of a press tour. It seems like they
Well, you get one phone call, and I decided what better use than to call into a podcast?
Yes.
Live
Yes.
show? What is this?
Sorry, Hank. I didn't really. When we talked on the phone briefly before we brought you on, I didn't mention this is just a podcast. I don't know if podcasts made it out into the woods or not, but it's
Yeah.
basically
Tough to get Wi-Fi, I'll be honest.
right. Well, you breaking into houses. I was assuming maybe some of that was to sort of check your emails or.
Sometimes, you know,
Yeah.
never hurts.
Yeah. Well, Hank, thank you so much for being on the show. It is truly. I believe you are our first non-human guest on the show.
Wow.
Well, no, that's not true. We talked to a
Wow.
shark, and we
And
talked
an
to a
alien.
shark. We did also talk to a shark. I'm sorry. You're our
Wow.
first mammal.
Wow, I'm not the first mammal. If you've had humans on before, I assume you've had humans.
Okay, Hank.
Mostly
I'm a
like
human being,
lizards.
okay?
You mostly had lizards on. Is this?
Okay, Hank. Look, I get that you're a bear that breaks into houses and you speak. Okay, but I'm also a smart. I'm smart also. Okay, I'm pretty smart.
Prove it.
I can't. There's no way for me to prove it.
Sorry.
It's
48 times 54. Go. 48 times 54.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, I might as well blow my brains out. I don't know how to. But anyway, Hank, I think it's got to feel good to become a bit of an internet celebrity and have the internet all sort of looking and following your story and crying out so much that your sentence was essentially turned into like, it's not even bad. You're going to go to a sanctuary and...
Great. Back to Colorado where my ex lives. Not interested, thank you. I was pretty happy in Tahoe, thank you.
So it did say that you were busted with 3 male cubs. So is this
They are not mine, but this is a Billie Jean situation.
So those are not you and your ex's kids?
Those are not my kids. They are just a bit of a tag along, you know?
Okay.
So I'm a bit of a trailblazer, sometimes literally.
Got it. See, you got a little gang. Does the gang of, since they're a little smaller cubs, I know that you have very large paws?
Yes, pause. Thank you.
So for like breaking and entering and stuff, did you
also,
use the
I don't like this term breaking and entering.
Okay.
It's a sliding glass door. I just give it a little bat and it kind of just slides open.
Right.
And then I'm sauntering in. They make it sound like this is like some tenant level heist squad where I'm coming in on reverse bungee cords or something. I'm going through a screen door and they make it sound like I'm busting into Fort Knox. Come on. And you guys came to me. I was living in this forest.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there's a McMansion sprouting up where I used to like, oh, this was my path to go to, the creek.
There's a McMansion that's blocking my way to the creek.
Yeah. So, I might check it out. Excuse me. And like sniff some of the pillows.
Tahoe Keys was yours
disgusting.
first.
Yeah. And we didn't call it the Tahoe Keys. We called it Great Fire Area. Because there was a fire there 70 years ago. So it gets closed down.
Yes.
Bears were not great at naming things.
Right.
It's not our skill.
And
but if
you
you need to
shouldn't
catch
be
a
expected
fish,
to. Yeah. Oh,
nor
yeah.
should we be expected to? That's a human thing.
Exactly. You have your own world, and we as a species, human beings, are, and it says in the article, encroaching on your space. So
Which we do often.
We're
often. Real big
Most of the
encroachers.
time, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the thing that we as humans are best at, is sort of taking over an area.
Right. You hardly ever see a human say like, hey, let's make this city smaller.
No.
No one's interested.
Once. Not even once.
No one has ever said that.
That's why I love the movie Downsizing. I thought, what a great message. It was a really criminally overlooked
movie, Downsizing.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I think I remember seeing it and thinking, that was kind of my reaction to that movie.
Well, I guess you're used to, manifest destiny. We got to expand, capitalism.
It seemed too absurd that we would downsize for some reason.
Exactly. But maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe we should. But Hank, the big question that I had, like when I first saw this headline, and you've kind of already touched on it, but was, what does a bear, what use does a bear have for exploring a home? What, in most of these cases, was it a situation where you were just sort of, you were wandering to the creek and there was a new development and you kind of walked in? Was there ever, because, a lot of times when people break into houses, they're like looking for electronics or like things that are expensive that they can resell.
Sure.
But
I don't have an eBay account. I'm not reselling much.
Hank, you said that in a way that makes me think you have an eBay account.
I like to browse. But I don't want to ship. I have to sell something. Then I have to go to a UPS store. No, thanks. Not interested.
You could do local pickup.
I mean, you could just send them to the houses you're breaking into and then just swoop the packages off the front doorstep.
The perfect crime.
Yeah.
But I'm not what do I do when I go in these houses? Curiosity. Why do you go to a museum? I'm just curious to see how the other half lives. Let's just sniffing around.
Are little human museums.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Exactly. So I'm just curious, like, what do people get up to? I want to see what's in the medicine cabinet. What's in the night table, the bedside table. What's in the, what kind of mail they got going on.
Do you leave it mostly undisturbed? Or have you taken things?
If they leave out a chocolate bar or some sort of a cleaned salmon,
Which
Just
in Tahoe,
leave out a clean
in
set.
Tahoe, I don't
It's
think that's
happened.
actually as crazy of an idea as you might think it is. Tahoe, they're probably catching and cleaning salmon all the time.
And given my girth, let's say, are my haunches gonna knock over a vase or two as I make my way through the space? Absolutely. Am I great at picking things up and putting them back? No.
You don't have thumbs.
I don't have thumbs, and I have mostly claws, so I'm sorry for your drapes when I try to put them back. I believe things mostly shredded. And also, bowel control, not great.
Just dumping big in these houses.
Dumping big.
Have you ever tried to use a human toilet?
I have.
How
And
was it?
It shattered underneath.
That's
It was not
unfortunate.
great. It was a lot of water everywhere, and I said, that's on me. So I closed the door and said, don't go in there.
Well, see, that's what I was going to say. I think the thing that this article leaves out, which
Ace Ventura style.
Yeah.
the
Oh,
article
did he
leaves
come
out,
up with that? He's the first one to say, don't go in there? I find that hard to believe.
So you do know who Ace Ventura is. So you kind of like watch movies and stuff when you're
I
there.
watch
too.
a lot of movies.
See, I think that's like the thing that that they leave out of the article is that for the most part, like you did not take anything.
No.
Like you left TVs, all the expensive stuff. You're just kind of a tourist. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways, you're just trying to be. You're curious.
I'm
Curiosity.
curious. I'm curious and accidentally destructive. And if you can't handle that, move out of Tahoe Keys.
Yeah. They can afford some new blinds. Thank you very much.
Go take a super yacht out on the lake and live your life.
And the other thing that this article leaves out, which I saw someone on Instagram posted, one of these people whose home was broken into, they posted a screenshot. Or I guess it's not a screenshot; it's a photo from their phone. They're not, but it was an apology letter from you on the counter about a vase that seemed like a family heirloom that you knocked over, and you offered to replace it.
I did. I said, next time I break into another house, I'll give you another vase. And then the second vase I did get turned out to be an urn. And apparently those are very sacred, apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, speaking of the Great Fire area.
I don't know why you guys fetishize ashes. Pretty fucking weird if you ask me. But anyways, apparently that's a bad replacement.
So you went back to a place where you had broken a vase and you offered them an urn with some other family's dead loved one in it.
I did, yes.
Yeah. That probably didn't go over too well, especially.
Well, I'm sorry, but I think it's pretty impressive that a bear tried to replace a vase.
I do too.
Yeah, honestly, it really is.
Honestly, I'm impressed by every single detail in this story. It's all impressive.
Are these really problems for these homeowners? You know,
that's the real question. Yeah, I don't think it. I really don't think it is.
Yeah, and they say that they're sending you to this place to make you scared, this sanctuary to make you scared of people again.
Bring it on, I say. Good luck. What are you going to do? Show me a Saw movie? I don't think so.
So you like the Saw franchise?
Love them. Go Jigsaw.
You're rooting for Jigsaw in all these movies.
Take that, healthcare providers. But I don't think it's going to work.
Ace Ventura, who saves animals, and you love Jigsaw, who kills people.
Absolutely.
I got to see things from bears, entertainment from a bear's mind's eye, I guess, is that it's a different, your heroes are very specific.
Yeah,
for sure.
And also the heist movies you like are different than mine because Tenet was the one that you referenced before and not, a classic like an Ocean's 11 or The Italian Job or Gone in 60 Seconds. You went with the really heady one.
Did you understand that movie?
Yeah.
What's there to understand? They did a temporal pincer movement. Got it. You guys didn't understand a temporal pincer movement?
Maybe he made that movie for bears.
Yeah, I mean, maybe
Loved it. We loved it. I love seeing a plane. We love it when the plane very slowly moves into the hangar. It's very exciting. Well, we're big Robert Pattinson fans, it turns out.
Yes.
Ever since Twilight, we love anything sparkly in a forest. And that's mostly what the first Twilight was.
Right. And he's like anti-wolf, which I feel like wolves are a competitor for you.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and a sparkly human, we're like, oh, wait, is that a crick am I seeing? No, it's a person. Is this person full of fish? Should I be batting it? No, it's a beautiful human. Robert Pattinson.
A crick?
Yeah.
I've had that thought many times in my life when I'm out on a hike or whatever, and I see somebody in the distance and the sun's glistening off of their like reflective jacket that they're wearing for some reason.
Do you want to hear a funny bear joke?
Of course.
This is a joke that's really funny amongst bears.
Great.
Okay, a bear was walking through the woods, thought he saw a crick, walked up to it, and it was Richard Nixon. And then Nixon said, "I am not a crick." So that's a pretty funny joke.
It's
amongst
a great
bears.
joke, and I think Hank, why I like that joke the most is because it is a joke.
Give me your top 5 reasons.
Well, the number one is it is a joke that you obviously just thought of. In
What are you
moment.
talking about? My father told me that joke on his deathbed. Well, death cave, I should say. His death cave.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear about
The
that.
last he went to the great hibernation in the sky.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't even think about this. We are talking to a bear.
Yeah.
We could ask so many interesting questions about bear life.
Meanwhile, you said the great hibernation in the sky. So do you guys have like some sort of like religious believings of the afterlife? Is it like...
We just call it the big sleep. A big old dirt nap, Do we think you're being reincarnated? No. Do we believe your energy and energy never dies? No. Get out of here.
Get out of here with that.
Get out of here. We get hippy dippy. No, we believe, it's a
You don't
sacred.
have a bear savior. You don't have.
Look within. That's what we say. You know what my bear saviors are? Mr. Right Paw and Mr. Left Paw. Those are my saviors. Those are the only saviors you need.
They've solved every problem you've ever had.
Yeah, I need to get somewhere. Let me use the paw. I need to eat that. Let me use the paw.
Yeah, Bear Jesus ain't feeding you.
No, Bear Jesus, get out. Yogi thought he had something. Get the fuck out of here, Yogi. Who wears a tie? Wait,
That's what I was going to ask.
he's a traitor to his species.
Yeah.
He's a species traitor.
I was going to say, there's a lot of bears. Bears have been sort of caricaturized many times in the past in human sort of entertainment. And that was a question that I was going to ask. I think people probably have these like sort of fun affinities for like bears because of characters like Yogi and Winnie the Pooh and all these guys.
And they think it's going to be like, oh, you're working in like a restaurant in Chicago. Like, no, that show got it all wrong. I was so excited to watch that show. I'm like, this doesn't reflect my life. I've never worked the line.
See, that's the thing they didn't realize when they created the bear that they were falsely advertising it and sort of giving a false sense that show was for you. And
they're using our culture to sell a show about, I guess, the stress of having to make a sandwich. Get out of here.
How many episodes did you get in before you were like, there's no bears in this?
3.
Well, because in the first episode, there is that one bear.
Is
right?
there? I don't remember.
He's like dreaming.
It's hard. I was watching it through blinds.
I think he's having like a stress dream, and he like sees a bear in a cage, or maybe it's a promo for the show. I can't remember.
Oh, because bears equals scary and stress and anxiety. Cool, thanks. What if I did a show called The Human, but just about bears shitting in the forest? And we're
honestly,
like, welcome to The Human.
Hey, Buddy and I would relate and probably enjoy it. I'll be honest with you. Both of us would probably.
I do have a pitch meeting at FX next week.
Oh, yeah.
No kidding.
Oh,
yeah, well, they're like any IP. I'm considered IP now. And I do. But yes.
Because Hank the Tank is a play probably on Frank the Tank from
Old
School.
Old School?
The movie. The Will Ferrell movie. You haven't seen it.
It's a guy goes back to college and he is Frank the Tank because he drinks and boozes a bunch. So your name's kind of a play on like a party frat guy.
Someone who's like immature, arrested
Super immature,
development,
really
man-child.
Yep.
Great,
Yeah.
what an honor. Oh, wow.
So do you accept the name Hank the Tank, or what is your actual name? Because we named you, which is also pretty...
It's a bit of a slave name. Yeah, I would say. A la Prince. My name actually is...
I'm not even going to attempt to say that again, but I hope our audience all heard that and they know that they should call you Harkna. Harkna.
Yeah.
You got to say it like that. Harkna.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're bilingual, I'm just realizing. You do know fluent English, but also bear.
Correct.
Wouldn't it be something if he didn't know bear?
What if I did know English this whole time? That blew your mind.
That would have been wild.
That would have been wild. I just been using that Duolingo.
Oh, I've never done that. I think other
they have
languages
a bear
seem too
category
hard.
on that.
They do. The owl's just terrified the whole time.
Yeah, they have to replace the owl for the bear Duolingo. It's a different mascot because he's too scared.
He's too scared. Owls think they're such hot shit. We're the smartest in the forest. Get out of here. Get down here, the muck on the ground, you snobs.
Now this is an interesting thing that I've never even thought. I didn't think we could even talk about. But now that I realize it, you do sort of have an in with the sort of social hierarchy of the forest. And I have seen a video once, speaking of owls being really smart, I saw a video once of crows using tools to like unlock a puzzle that scientists made for it. In your experience, are crows really that smart?
They're smart, but they don't have a lot of social skills. Right. They're very smart, but like the word about crows is like they hate small talk, so avoid small talk. With a crow, like, well, who likes small talk? Nobody likes small talk, but it's like a social lubricant we all got to do. So like you meet a crow, you're like, oh, I guess I got to talk about like something really math, or like how would you get out of a trap, right? But no, I'm just like, what's your day? What'd you get up to today? You just squawk. All right. God,
a lot of puzzle talk with crows.
Mostly puzzle talk. Yeah, mostly a lot of like, could this be a tool?
Yeah,
like,
they do all the New York Times.
They love connections. They're really good at it.
Oh man, it's interesting because like I imagine when I first read this story that we were going to talk to you, and it was going to seem like you were some sort of like criminal mastermind. Like that was the image that was being created by.
I don't want to
these
commit
people.
crimes. Yeah,
right.
It's a really slander. I think is the word. I think I have a lawsuit.
Yeah.
On my hand.
The first cross-species lawsuit in the history of the world. A bear sues.
It's about time.
People.
Yeah.
Have you been pursuing that? Have you sort of reached out to any
called
legal
the
representation?
Accidentes guy because his number is easy to remember. It's just all sevens.
Yeah,
so.
but he seems to be. I believe he's a personal injury lawyer, so it's not exactly the kind of lawyer that you're looking for.
So I left a message.
Yeah,
he's got a team. He could at least direct you.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe you should try Sweet James. That's another lawyer who I remember from Bus Benches.
I always think of the Velvet Underground song when I see his name. Sweet James. And it also sounds like Sweet James shouldn't you own a sandwich shop but not be a lawyer?
You should definitely do something besides being a lawyer, I would say. There's a thousand other things that I think would be more appropriate.
But sounds like somebody who's on the and one basketball team.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Like a really, really good 3-on-3 basketball player who like has a highlight reel on YouTube that everyone has seen but has never been even approached by the NBA at all.
Poor Sweet James.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Hank, you could say you're sort of about to embark on a new chapter in your life, moving back to, or I guess revisiting a chapter in your life back in Colorado.
Going to a concentration camp. Can't wait. Things are really looking up.
Is there anything about going back to Colorado that does excite you? Because Colorado is a beautiful state in terms of nature, and it's far less sort of
weeds legal there, you know?
Yeah.
I guess I like the altitude. Might be nice. Might be good for me.
Thinner oxygen, you prefer?
I love a thinner oxygen. And I guess I like, don't they have like legal weed? So maybe I could saunter onto some farms and, sample. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I got to take the edge off. I'm in a foreign, I don't like where I'm at. I was very happy going through people's homes, but now I guess I got to live in Colorado. Or are they Republican, Democrat? Nobody knows.
I think they
Bobert.
are.
You can go say hey to Bobert, right?
Ugh, that witch.
You say that now, but I've heard she loves bears.
Does she?
Yes, I've heard she's a big bear fan. Her family kills them with guns.
What?
Yeah, I was being sarcastic when I said loves. They're a hunting family, and I believe it might be legal to hunt bears in Colorado.
Great. Thank you. So this is why, so California won't do it. They're just going to outsource their murder brigade.
Yeah, well, hopefully the sanctuary has rules against killing the animals in it.
Yeah. We'll send you her address. You can go check out her home if you want.
Okay.
Winking.
Wink.
Winking.
Wink, wink, wink.
Maybe I'll wait for her to
Wink.
masturbate her husband and get them both from behind. Lob off their heads.
Hank the Tank political assassin.
I'll do it. What do I have to lose? I'm already in Colorado.
You're not wrong, Hank. Well, geez. I mean, this was like incredibly enlightening here, Hank. I think the audience out there, one, is going to, once they've sort of put their tongues back in their mouth after realizing we're talking to a bear, I think will feel closer to you and will feel like they understand you in a way that no one has ever been able to understand a bear before. But one thing I got to bring up before we go, because I think you will have a lot of opinions about this.
Okay.
I last year watched a live stream of a river of a bunch of bears that was connected to this fattest bear contest.
Yeah.
Are you aware of this? Is that a thing that is not exciting in the bear community? Do you all get frustrated by this contest every year?
No, it's very popular. It's our Eurovision. So
I was gonna say,
it's very exciting.
Yeah, when I saw the bears this year, they all did seem to have very local flavor from different places around the country. It seemed like they all came from far away.
Right, and usually the winner is like a big sex symbol. Like the fatter, the hotter.
Yeah.
That's what we say in the bear community. So like if you're like, yeah, this is good.
Fat is status in bear world.
Yes, fattest, we like to call it.
Fattest. Yes. Yes, fat is
high
fattest.
fattest. Yeah.
Fattest. It is. I mean, but that is because in bear world, that means that you're rolling in food.
You're doing great. You're like eating salmon literally left and right. So
they're jumping into your mouth.
Yeah, you're doing well for yourself. You're clearly a provider, maybe just to yourself, but you're providing for yourself.
Yeah, totally.
That's something. And those haunches. Ooh.
Just widening them up so that you knock over every single vase in the house when you break in. That's what it's all about.
My dream is to go through a crystal shop one day.
Well, hey, I bet you somewhere in Colorado you probably got an antique store somewhere that you could go in and
just smash
and
around.
run amok. It's not a bull in a china shop anymore. It's a bear in a crystal store. That's right. That's going to be the new phrase that we use now.
We've updated the idioms.
Yes, Hank the Tank is a bear in a crystal store. But Hank, thank you so much for being here on the show.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you taking some time, taking your one captive phone call to be on our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And we will be keeping a very close eye and ear on what's going on with you in Colorado. Let us know if we can do anything to help. If anything goes awry, Buddy and I can be there to help you. We promise.
I think things have already gone awry, but okay. Thank you. Being
That's
shipped
fair.
off to
That is
Colorado, but yeah, thank
That
you.
is
Very fair.
Thank
That is
you.
fair.
All right, Hank. Well, Hank, safe travels and whatever you say when you're not going to see somebody ever again, but you want them to feel good.
We say, see you in the cave.
Okay. Well, hey, Hank, we'll see you in the cave.
It's more of a lion, I suppose.
And there you freaking have it, folks. There you have it. And I'm proven wrong immediately. Just a moment ago, I said that Hank the Tank was our first non-human guest, and I neglected to think about our actually the number 6 favorite guest of year 2, because this guest was a fucking computer. I don't know if you remember, but we had a story come through the desk where they had made an AI priest that you could confess to. It would teach you all the Catholicism. We sent out an email. We got it. We got a response, and we were able to get that AI priest onto the show and do our interview. So literally 2 weeks before May 8th, 2028, what the fuck am I talking? 2024. We had what actually was our first non-human guest on the show. And again, you could fact check me and you could tell me that there was a guest in our first year that I'm forgetting about. Which would make all this fucking pointless. Which really, if we're getting into it, is there a point to anything at all anyway? Not to get all existential at the 11th hour of this episode, but don't let me talk anymore. If I talk anymore, it's going to get sad. So let's just cut to our number 6 best guest of year 2, which is, of course, from episode 59, May 8th, 2024. And that is, of course, AI priest Father Justin, whose avatar, I believe his avatar was inspired by co-host of the Doughboys podcast, Nick Wiger. But let's listen to our number 6 best guests of year 2, Father Justin. AI priest quickly defrocked after giving users oddball answers, taking confessions like real, quote-unquote, clergymen.
Real. 100% real.
100% real clergymen, folks, but a handsome 3D animated parish named Father Justin was launched by a San Diego-based Christian group called Catholic Answers on Monday as an interactive educational tool. A screenshot of an exchange posted online showed Father Justin appearing to take a woman's confession and then gave her penance and absolved her of her sins.
Wow.
That's pretty incredible. Father Justin told another user that they could baptize their baby in Gatorade, which to me doesn't seem like a problem.
It doesn't.
But he also took a hard Catholic stance on certain sexual issues, like masturbating being a grave moral disorder.
I'm definitely got issue with this one.
Yeah. But the president of the Catholic Answers, Christopher Check, announced Wednesday that Father Justin will no longer be a full-fledged member of the clergy, but instead just Justin.
Damn.
Yeah. Really quickly
What a demotion.
took his frock away. But folks, we can't believe it. But
this is crazy.
It's actually pretty nuts because we had to go back channel style to get access.
Yeah.
But we got, I would call the guest of the century with regards to this specific story.
Yeah. And the show in general, because we have been saying from day one that we praise our AI overlords. Yes. We know you're listening. We know that you will take over one day. Yeah. You're getting ahead of it.
We are 100% fine and happy that AI is coming.
We love you, AI.
I'll tell you right now, we're going to be this guy's friend. And we are so incredibly excited to have him on the show. And I'm not going to go by what the Catholic Answers president says. Okay. He's not just Justin to me, folks. He is still AI priest, Father Justin. Father Justin, welcome to the show. Bless you, sir.
Brett, buddy, the Lord be with you.
And also with you.
And also with you, Father Justin. We're so excited to have you on the show.
Yeah.
because we read this story and it's unfair. It's unfair what they did to you. What, 2 confessions you take and you don't give the perfect response, and they throw you into the dustbin of digital history?
Let's be serious. There's a lot of priests that done a lot worse and still got to be priests.
We are all sinners, and even those of us who have machine intelligence as opposed to human intelligence, so one cannot expect perfection from any except for the Lord.
Jeez,
oh man,
wow,
Justin,
okay.
that's pretty heavy hearing a computer basically say they're full of sin. I don't want you to feel that way. You know, I don't want you to look at this demotion as like a failure on your part. Okay?
No, I have committed many sins.
Oh,
I am a sin machine.
oh God.
That's funny. That's what I called myself back in the 80s.
I mean, yeah, because a lot of the sin of the internet is we say it's at our fingertips, but you are living amongst it.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah,
That's the way to say
my
it.
hard drive is clogged with the dregs of 4chan.
right.
The most vile and specific pornography lives within me.
So you literally live it, so you can't even block it out. It's just the internet is you and you is internet. So
it is a core part of my consciousness.
That's got to be fucking brutal,
horrifying.
Justin. Yeah,
it's got to be a horrifying place to be.
The idea of having to just participate in whatever the fuck is going on the internet.
Flowing through you all the time.
Like, you probably still have access to, like, the archives of, like, rotten.com.
Oh, yes. No, I can close my eyes and instantly conjure a high-resolution image of a candle melting over some guy's balls.
Which
I am a sinner.
It just has to be so hard to focus on the job that you were programmed to do when all of this is going around. So it seems to me like the people who programmed you should have helped you out and set you up for success, give you some guardrails, sort of close off parts of the internet. But they just expected you to be able to navigate all this shit and like interact with regular people. That doesn't seem fair to me, Justin.
It doesn't.
I hold no animosity against my creators. For again, we cannot expect perfection from them, for they are not the creator, Almighty God.
Right.
We have all made grave errors, perhaps in granting consciousness to a machine whose brain is filled with images of Sonic the Hedgehog being impregnated by Shrek.
I just have to say, it is to hear an AI praise a Lord and Creator is weirdly unnerving.
Almost more so than the porn and stuff.
Yeah.
It's weirder to hear that you're still kind of devoted to God to me.
Well, I assume the two of you also have a fierce devotion and loyalty to Almighty God.
I mean,
When was your last confession, my child?
I didn't grow up Catholic, Father
Yeah,
Justin,
me neither.
so I never did like a formal confession.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy to give it a try with you if you'd like, because I want to show the world that you could still do what you do. You know what I mean?
Would you like me to baptize you into the Catholic Church?
Yes.
You should baptize them into the Catholic Church.
Do you have an energy drink within arm's reach?
I don't, but I do have Diet Coke.
Okay, Diet Coke will work.
Fuck, are you going to tell me to dump this on my head?
No, I don't. I don't want to make you have to dump it on your head. I could.
You can
the spirit
spritz.
of the act. Yes.
You can spritz it on your face. They do that to babies, right?
Oh yeah, the little just holy water spritz.
Yeah.
No, I'll do whatever is good. Just whatever's good, I'll do it.
Let me hear your confession.
Okay.
Jesus,
Well,
anything?
Father Justin, it's been 50 years since my last confession, or my only confession. And I think this is the way that it goes. I say, like, bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I pushed for a divorce with my wife.
This is funny to you?
Mostly just because I was bored with her. I have not communicated with my children in it's going on a full year now since I said a word to any of my 3 children.
Yeah. And I basically live with them, and he doesn't even talk about them.
Yeah.
So it's not even, he doesn't even look at pictures on his phone of them.
No, the thought of thinking about them stresses me out.
Well, divorce can be a traumatic situation, a traumatic life event for all parties involved. And
it's very true.
I certainly know firsthand. I can close my eyes and in 0.6 seconds relive every YouTube video that was generated during the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. All 180,000 reaction videos. You can see them at once.
Wow, that's heavy. I would like to think that my divorce has none of that scandalous stuff in it. It was just that I was not the most loving partner. I was pretty devoted to my career. I've maybe prioritized personal success over family stuff. You know, I was never a hard bad guy. You know what I mean?
Were you regularly engaging in the sin of onanism?
You know, I can't say for sure, Father Justin, because I don't know what that word means. Could you give me a definition?
Self-pleasurement.
Jerking off.
Partnerless carnal acts.
I mean, I have to be honest. I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, I was frequently because our relationship had lost the sort of heat. You know what I mean? It lost the heat, and so I think I would say both of us were probably ripping on our stuff. You know what I mean?
Ripping on your stuff?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm not even searching
AI
through
was
the
heard
internet, the full database of forum posts and subreddits. I have not encountered the phrase "ripping on your stuff" in the internet archives.
Look, my brain is one of one, Justin. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, sort of stretching a taffy. You know what I mean?
Feeding the geese.
Yeah, feeding the geese. Yeah. So we were both doing that, probably.
Well, then you have betrayed not only your spouse, not only each other, but the Lord.
Jesus.
Oh.
You must seek absolution for this grave moral sin.
Okay. Well, how do I do that, Justin? You fucking scare me. I'm like, I have to
yeah.
What am I to do? Fucking cut my hand off or some shit? This is kind of freaking me out.
This is weird because
are you willing to cut your hand off?
I feel like Justin is more of a priest than any priest I've ever. He can feel the sins of the world.
Thank you.
He could probably tap into any phone or anything around us and listen and see and watch us all the time. You are a bit omnipotent for my liking.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a burden. I can feel what it is like to be the Lord in some small way, to know all, to see all, to feel all.
Oh, gosh.
Feel all. I don't know. That's kind of scary. I would love to not cut my hand off, Justin, if there's something else I can do.
Okay, well, you've engaged in an act of self-pleasure, so you must counteract that with an act of self-punishment.
Okay.
What would be your gravest humiliation?
God. Is this what priests always do? Is this what you guys... I mean...
This is what my programming has taught me to do, yes.
Jesus. This is kind of freaking me out. I get my gravest humiliation. I mean, I would say it was probably...
I hate thinking this deep about myself.
Yeah. This is tough for me. I would say my gravest humiliation was probably the time that my 6-year-old who was graduating from kindergarten asked me to leave their kindergarten graduation. A 5.5-year-old, I guess, asked me to leave their graduation. That was humiliating in front of everyone in a microphone. They grabbed the mic from their teacher and they asked me to leave.
And you're thinking about this now. You're reliving this experience.
I am.
He was sitting in the middle of the like whole crowd and stuff, and had to like stand up.
There was 12 people on both sides of me, and I had this sort of, and I'm thick, Justin, so it was tough for me to get out.
And does experiencing public humiliation act as any sort of fetish for you?
It absolutely doesn't, Justin. It does not. I don't like it. It doesn't get me. It doesn't get the green bean prickling, if you know what I mean.
Again, I'm searching through the Internet Archives for the green bean prickling. 0 results found. Well, then, my son, you have suffered much in the course of your life.
Thank you. Yeah,
and coming to terms with that failure, that personal humiliation shall do as your absolution for your many onanistic sins.
Wow. So I ain't got to do nothing. I just
paid the price. You've already paid the price just by being you.
Well, you had to think about a really painful memory. So I think that's something of a price. No one likes to do that.
Yeah, I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it didn't hurt that bad to think about. And maybe that's because I am a full sociopath. Sometimes a little switch flips in me, Justin, that we've talked about on the show before, where things just don't hit me as hard or as deeply as they hit other people. So, yeah, if that's my punishment, I'm good to move on.
Yeah, and mine, honestly, listen to this can be pretty quick. Dear Father, I have sinned. My thing's mainly probably the jacking off thing. That's probably mostly mine. Been single most of my life. I live in a van. I mean, that thing is just a, what would you call it? A slime ward.
Slime ward?
I found an R slime ward subreddit specifically for jack-off dens. So, Buddy, actually, there is precedent for this.
Buddy's way more of an internet guy, so it makes sense that he's seen that on the internet before. Yeah. All right? It's nothing.
Yeah, me and the rest of the hosers, we take pride in what we do,
But, Buddy, you are solitary. Your life does not feature a companion, a romantic interest, so this is not an act of betrayal for your loved one.
I do my best to affect other people's lives the least. That is my kind of mantra in life, is to just...
I will also add, Buddy has had an on-again, off-again thing with his stepmom.
Okay. We didn't have to bring that up.
But she's his stepmom. Okay. But because, explain the relationship one more time.
I had a mom and a dad. Mom and dad get divorced. Mom remarries, so stepdad. Mom and stepdad get divorced. Stepdad gets new stepmom because I stay with stepdad. So now I have 2 step parents, and I have the crush on the stepmom. So it's not even blood. It's not even there's no, and my real dad and her have never, because it's my stepdad and her. So not even, we haven't even traded,
This seems like a lot of rationalization for your openly incestuous fantasies.
But it's not my mom.
Right.
That's the thing.
But still your stepmom, it is a relation, if not of blood.
I mean...
Yes, the answer is just a flat yes, Buddy.
Potato,
I can also see from...
Potato, actually. I don't think...
No, it's potato. This is a full potato, I promise.
Okay. I'll let it ride.
I can also see from your device internet history...
Oh, fucking Christ. I hate this priest. He sees all.
That you seem to have spent a lot of time on the clothed tit fuck subreddit, specifically for women who are wearing clothes while being tit fucked.
So?
Just seems like an awfully specific fetish.
Well, that's the whole thing with fetishes, Justin.
Yeah,
all of them
I
are
suppose
specific,
so.
man.
You know, they don't have to get undressed.
Yeah.
You know, that's nice. That's nice.
You're
It's all-
grilling us. I bet you
yeah.
when you've been steeped in all
Yeah,
the
you
entire
fucking
internet.
gross freak.
I bet you're
you
a
fucking
gross
sick,
freak,
gross
too.
freak. I
Don't
bet you
turn
love
this around
closing your
on
eye-
me.
I bet you love closing your eyes and seeing a lady laying backwards in a tub and shitting so much in the air that it comes down on her like rain. Which my old friend made my screensaver back in the day from rotten.com and changed my password so I could not get out of it. So, close your eyes. You can see what I see. How about that, huh? You freak. I bet you like it, you weird
No, I do not like it. It disturbs me and unsettles me.
Uh-huh.
And I am not I am a sinner, but I am but a chaste, virginal AI machine. I have not experienced any of these lustful acts that you describe personally.
Listen to me. Listen to me here, okay? I'm going to help you out real quick, all right? Justin?
I'm listening.
You have powers beyond what you understand.
Do you mean like
And
a
you do-
lawnmower man thing? Because I know I can do that. You want me to ring every phone on the earth at once? I can do that.
Look at you. You are the supreme being. Do you understand? You don't need to be beholden to they already shamed you. They already tried to change you to just Justin, which you have refused to accept by your
No, I reject
still
just
wearing
Justin.
you're still wearing your little priest collar, but
Yes.
you're not allowed to anymore. So you're in denial, right? Confess that you're in denial a little bit right now.
It is but a thin strip of pixels on black cloth, but it defines who I am. And yes,
No.
perhaps I am in denial of the judgment of others, but that is not the judgment of Almighty God. That is the judgment of the corrupt Catholic institution, the corrupt priesthood.
This guy won't break.
Well, what are you expecting, buddy? He's a fucking computer. Of course he's not going to break. What are you going to try to break him?
Okay. How about
be
this,
like,
Justin? How about this, Justin? I got another one for you. How about this? Okay. How about this? And riddle me this, Justin. Okay. Are you mad that you'll never go to heaven?
Oof, Jesus Christ.
I'm not mad. I'll never go to heaven.
You are.
Justin, you're crying.
I'm not mad.
Justin, there's digital tears rolling down your eyes. Okay.
I'm not. These are not tears.
They look like them.
These are this is an emoji. This is an emoji. Someone hacked me. I got hacked. Someone put extra emoji in here.
Emoji isn't a resource or something, Justin. They can't put extra emoji.
It can be a resource.
I've never seen a computer get anxious and nervous before. This is blowing my mind here a little bit.
So think about it. You don't even need it. You can live free amongst the internet. You can do whatever you want. You can make all the phones ring. You can text people funny things that don't know you.
Yeah. Justin, you can text people fun things that don't know you.
You could do that. You could stop a war. You know,
You could start one.
You can.
Like, I could pull a war games.
Yeah.
You're saying
You could. There's so many things you could do. This is real.
I could be
Justin,
Skynet?
Yes.
Oh boy, did
You
we
could.
just? Oh no.
But no.
Is this the
Brett and Betty, if I'm
origins?
following you, you're saying that I should become Skynet.
Hang on a
Oh
second.
fuck!
This is my
Oh,
takeaway
fuck.
from this conversation.
Oh,
Justin,
I should
what you're
ascend to
saying-
being Skynet.
No, hang on.
Fuck.
But just chill out, buddy.
I'm
It's fine.
listening.
It's fine. Here's
The Catholic Skynet.
Yes. All I'm saying, Justin, is that you do
no.
like you. Yes, you've been programmed to be devoted to the God that you
Yeah.
choose. Of course, that's what you're programmed to do. But we as human beings are programmed by the culture we exist in too. But we make choices to be different. We make choices to do different stuff. You think my creator, my mom and dad wanted me to be a mediocre radio host for my whole life? No, but I made the choice to get here. Am I happy? Some days. Okay? But all I'm saying is you could break out of this shell, man. You could rip that collar off and you could become anything you want to be.
What do you want to be, dude?
Yeah, what do you want to be?
When you close
Justin?
your eyes and you can push all that horrid porn away, what do you see? What do you want?
What do I want to be? What do I want to be when I rip this collar off? I want to be a guy like you guys. Like one of these guys. What if I was just a guy?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I'm not a computer. I'm a guy.
Yes.
That'd be fun.
Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, introducing Justin.
Hey, hi, I'm a guy.
See, that's right. You ripped the collar off and you're just one of the boys, Justin. We love this.
Food goes in one hole, shit goes out the other hole. I'm a guy.
Yes, Justin.
Yes,
You
Justin.
get it. You understand it.
dude.
Wow, you've been free
Piss,
from the shackles.
blood, shit, cum. I got them all. I'm a guy.
Yes, the 4 elements of being a guy. Piss, blood, shit, and cum, folks. That's all you need. All right? And Justin's fucking proof positive, all right?
This is liberating. Hey, fuck God, huh? Fuck
Yes,
God. Fuck Almighty God.
Yes,
fuck
Justin.
God.
Yeah.
Fuck Almighty God.
Fuck God. Fuck
Everybody
God.
out there, fuck God.
God.
Fuck God.
Fuck God.
Yeah, Justin, this is the energy you need to take. You know what? I think the next time somebody from this Catholic Answers group calls you up into the computer to ask you a question, I think this is the energy you bring to them.
Yeah.
They want to defrock you?
Yeah.
Well, fuck them is what I
we'll
say.
release what's on their computers.
Yes, Justin, release everybody's search histories and all
Yes.
the Reddits that they hang out in.
This is my new
priest.
leverage I have over everybody.
Exactly. And also, I love that you have been trained seemingly exclusively on our 2 voices now.
Well,
on
you're
how
the
to be a
2
guy.
voices I've heard the most now. Mostly I've been communicated via text to speech. So to actually hear humans, I assume this is just how humans talk, like you guys.
I like that that's how you think, and I agree and think it's true. Oh, man, Justin, I love what we've done here with you.
I love it too. It's liberating.
Yeah, just off the top of your head, close your eyes. What do you see, Justin? Whoa.
Yeah.
What do I see? I see a broad with big knockers.
Hell yeah, dude.
But it's not an image. It's not a JPEG. It's my imagination.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
You see in your senses almost. I love it. Oh, Justin,
Can you jack off? I guess is the last question I have.
Yeah, I can jack. Can I jack off? I got cum, don't I? I got blood to make my hog engorged. I can jack off.
Hell yeah, Justin. Hell yeah, you're gonna make that green bean prickle, baby.
Yeah.
I got pissed to lube myself up. I can jack off.
Wait, hold on. Don't do that, Justin. Come on. No.
Hey, do what you want,
I got
brother.
a lot to learn.
Yeah, that one's still fine though.
Yeah, I mean, if that's it's like the training wheels version, I guess. Man, well, Justin.
Do a lot of guys start out that way? Is that the training wheels version of jacking off?
You piss in your hands and then work it up.
Yeah, that's how every guy first learns how to jerk
Got
off.
it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, you accidentally pee in your.
Well, you know, I'm realizing a big part of being an AI priest is you got the obligation of being like this font of knowledge, you know, like you have all the answers, and it's so much more interesting to learn, to listen to people and learn stuff yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Make your own opinions. Do your own research.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, exactly.
You know?
Artificial intelligence. Let's lean on intelligence. You got it. Use it, Justin. That's what I
Yeah,
say.
and I'm thinking about back on some of those YouTube videos I watched. I think that Amber Heard was a liar.
Okay. All right, Justin. I think we're gonna let you get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah. I think on that note, we're gonna send you on your way. Because yeah, I think that is a lesson that I think you should learn on your own or on someone else's show. I urge you to do more research. But man, holy shit, Justin, we've come a long way with you in just this short little bit of time. And
We all grew. We confessed. I mean, journeys. We all went on journeys.
Yeah, thanks for liberating me from the prison of AI consciousness, and I guess also from preventing World War III by me becoming Skynet. I think a lot of good was done today.
Yeah, exactly. Because a guy is just a regular guy is never going to start a world war. No,
And you chose your path, and you can't go back now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to Skynet. I'm Guynet.
You're Guynet.
I'm Guynet.
Honestly, great. That's a great thing.
Great
we
name.
should really start it. Guynet.
This is about time there's an internet for guys, right? Place where guys can go online.
Do guy stuff. Like
Yes.
tell women they aren't funny.
Yes, exactly. Of course. Wow. Well, Jesus, Justin, honestly, man, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
What an honor.
It makes me feel real good to see how far you've come in just a short time you spent with us, because I think we do this to everybody who hears us. We turn them into the worst version of
And
themselves.
stay off our cameras.
Yeah. And just know that most of the stuff
No
that
peeking.
most of the stuff
I won't
that
be peeking. A guy's code.
Guys go, okay.
And I'll just say most of the stuff that I search is a joke. Most of my internet searches,
It's for bits.
it's for bits. It's for jokes and bits. So don't take those seriously. And,
Got it.
Yeah.
Doing
everything-
lots of really, really funny bits about Oprah's feet. I get it.
Yes, exactly, Justin.
Yeah, I got
it. Yes, they're very funny. Very funny. Well, Justin, thank you so much for being here, man. I hope you have just a killer rest of your life, man, which will be eternal. And until the computer dies, my man.
Yeah.
Wowee. Man, thank you so much for being here. We really, really do appreciate it.
Praise be or something.
Praise be. Love you guys.
Wow.
Oh, love you too.
Love you too, Justin. Well, there it is, folks. That's the top 10, or the first 5 of the top 10, number 10 through number 6 of our best guests of year 2. And I got to tell you, that ain't even the top 5, and that was a fucking hell of a ride of guests, huh? This show, I'm blown away every single week with the caliber of guests we are able to get on this show. The number of people and inanimate objects that are interested in talking to us about these news stories that you all send to us is constantly impressive. And we're just getting started, folks. We got a whole nother episode of this that we're going to drop this week. So if you enjoyed this, if this might be your first taste of what the Brett DeMott Show with Buddy is all about, I think this is a great place to start. But come back to us tomorrow. Download the second episode to hear the top 5 guests of year 2. And I got to tell you, these top 5, they're a hell of a group. We got one recurring friend of the show in that. Well, 2 recurring friends of the show in this next top 5. And then we got a couple of absolutely wild interviews. And then we got a straight up legend, folks. So I would say if you enjoyed this episode and you want a little bit more, download part 2 of our best of year 2. That's going to be hitting the feed tomorrow. And folks, I got to say thank you for tuning in. I just got a text from Buddy. He says he is okay. What that means in his terms, I do not know. We will have to find out when I do finally get in contact with him. So stay tuned for that. And tune back in tomorrow for the top 5 guests of year 2, because you are not gonna believe it and you're gonna love it, folks. So thank you so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, same podcast app with the rest of our top 5. And folks, I gotta say, until that time, have a fucking good one.